The final chapter of the 2015-16 Division III hockey season is yet to be written, but the authors of this tale are on the ice tonight. It's the Babson College Beavers taking on the UMass Boston Beacons in the first of a back-to-back between two hated rivals. That's up next, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Thank you for joining us and kicking off your weekend with the Beacons Broadcasting Network. For Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudris. There's no love lost between these two foes as the Beacons of UMass Boston bring their pristine 8-0 conference record into battle against the Beavers of Babson College. At 6-1 in the New England Hockey Conference, the Beavers are nipping at the heels of UMass. A sweep in the home-and-home doubleheader this weekend, and Babson would leapfrog the Beacons for NEHC supremacy. The stakes have never been higher this year for Peter Belisle's club, and success against their rivals from Wellesley will go a long way to propelling them to a regular season title in the inaugural year of this conference. We start with UMass Boston, who lost just one game prior to winter break. Their vacation was interrupted by a rude awakening, a 3-2 defeat at the hands of SUNY Brockport in the opening round of the Codfish Bowl. But 3 consecutive victories have the Beacons shining a ray of light towards the finish line in their hopes of postseason glory. One aspect of the game that hasn't been shaky has been the offense. UMass scored 18 goals in those 3 victories, including a hat trick by defenseman Tyler Bishop, whose efforts earned him NEHC Player of the Week accolades, as well as his 3rd nomination for D3 Hockey's Team of the Week. Bishop's 3rd goal in their affair against New England College, an overtime blast from Zach Lindsay and Albie Daly, propelled UMass to their 12th win of the season while setting them up for an exciting finish down the stretch. And I bring in our resident expert, Matt Meisenbacher, former UMass goaltender. And Matt, we knew someone had to step up on the blue line this season with the loss of so many veterans, and Tyler Bishop has certainly taken those reins.
It's truly amazing watching him play and the way he's evolved as a defenseman. He came in and has been in the lineup really since he came in, but you know, you look at him now, and offensively, he has found a way to really put himself in the upper echelon, not just of Division III players, but really of defensemen across collegiate hockey. I mean, offensively, he knows how to be productive during the rush, shots from the blue line, and the evidence is clear. Last game, just unbelievable effort in terms of what he was able to do from a defensive standpoint, but also contribute offensively.
Meanwhile, Frankie DeAugustine had a 5-point game against Johnson in Wales and then followed it up with points in his next 2. He's now got 6 goals and 4 assists for 10 points in those 4 games since the break. Is it safe to say Frankie is the key to this offensive explosion?
Yeah, absolutely. And Frankie's the type of player that you knew coming in recruiting-wise the talent he had. He was a guy that Coach Blau felt lucky to actually bring into the program, and now here he is, you know, again, evolving as he gone through his career. We've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. Here in his senior year in the second half, taking it to a whole nother level, and is just finding ways to be on that top line consistently. We saw some plays last time they played at home that were really just unbelievable in terms of the chemistry he's been able to do with Larkin and with Lemire.
We'll find out whether or not the Beacons' offensive renaissance can overcome a potential defensive swoon, especially against an opponent like Babson, who always brings the heat when they come to Clark Athletic Center. And Matt, for Babson, last year we saw Bill Seligman had 3 goals and 3 assists in 3 matchups against the Beacons. UMass lost to Babson to end their season last year. Talk a little bit about the difficulties that the Beavers present.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is a rivalry, the schools being so close. But at the end of the day, Babson definitely has the upper edge, 42-14 all time. So you can clearly see Babson has the edge over UMass. What we've seen of late is it's a close battle in terms of regular season. Games tend to be high-scoring affairs, and in the postseason, Babson's had UMass's number. 3 postseason wins over UMass the last 3 years. So clearly these teams know each other well. They know it's at stake, and UMass is in a little bit different scenario. Usually they're in second place trying to climb into first. It's actually the reverse now. They're in first trying to hang on to that.
What a lead in there for Matt Meisenbacher into our all-time series. As you see, Babson College dominating the all-time series against UMass Boston. It should be a wild ride, and we are glad to have you with us. UMass Boston's 2015 season came to an end in the ECAC East tournament against these very Beavers just 11 months ago. We'll find out whether or not revenge is a dish best served cold right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Now let's take a look at highlights of that ECAC East semi from last year. A 5-2 victory for the Babson College Beavers. That's right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Scudras along with Matt Meisenbacher. Let's take a look at the team stats between these two foes, the Babson College Beavers and the UMass Boston Beacons. Both teams at the top of their conference, both teams scoring with the best of them. For the Beacons, it's more about offense, and for Babson, it's about Jamie Murray between the pipes.
Yeah, definitely goaltending is going to be a huge piece tonight. Neither goaltender on either end has played particularly well of late, and it's going to really come down to who's ready to take that step in a positive direction. But quite honestly, John, I'm going to throw the stats aside. Tonight's the type of game where it's really going to come down to how well you know each other and who's willing to commit to doing the nitty-gritty in order to get the win.
Let's take a look at the individual leaders between these two foes, as Frankie DeAugustine, who has been on a red-hot tear, has been assisted by Matt Lemire. That top line has been dynamic for Peter Belisle's club, but they'll have a stiff test tonight as we take a look at the goalie matchup between these two teams. Billy Faust against Jamie Murray. Faust on his career, sparkling 40 games, a brilliant save percentage. As you see there, he's been good this season as well, but it's difficult to top the senior Jamie Murray.
Yeah, Murray's just been a great story, even from his junior days playing for the South Shore Kings as a third-string goaltender behind two goaltenders that ended up playing Division I hockey. So worked his way from a third string and again went to Babson as a third string and now has been the standard starter for about 2-3 years now.
We take a quick chance to look at the NEHC standings and the importance for these standings for the potential number one seed in the tournament. UMass Boston 3 points up on Babson. If Babson sweeps this series, it goes completely the opposite direction. The Beacons will be chasing the Beavers the rest of the way.
And this is uncharted territory for UMass Boston. They're usually in the 2 or 3 hole of late. Very rarely are they in the 1. You see Norwich University there at 6-3, which is a surprise. Babson College with a tie and a loss at 13 points, and UMass 8-0. If they sweep this weekend, they put themselves in the complete driver's seat for a national bid.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at a game that the Beacons put themselves in the driver's seat last year with, a 4-3 overtime victory over these very same Babson College Beavers.
I'm speaking about income. Get your head out, Elizabeth. Here come the big one. I put more money in the community than you got in your budget. I want my put your advance to the toilet then flush it. My last stance be a stance of a General Custard. I hot dog cause I can. I got the cheese and mustard. I got the stats of a Hall of Fame in just 2 records. That's why I'm back up at the Super Bowl with Julius Peppers. I got that can't stop, won't stop in my veins. That's why they can't stop, won't stop screaming the name. Nelly, Nelly. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. I'ma keep the same grin whether I lose or win. Up or down 10, I'ma fight to the end. Let's go.
Ain't no way they can stop me now, Nelly, cause I'm on my way. I can feel my ring coming. It's the blood of a champion, bubbling deep inside my veins. Too much pride to be running. I'ma get what I can and more, even if my blood, my sweat, and my tears don't mean nothing. It's the heart of a champion. It's the heart of a
First round, signing bonus profound, playing for his hometown, repping for the whole crowd. Buckle like Michael Red. Tell him again, it's buckle like Michael Red.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for these two teams. First, for the visiting Babson College Beavers. At left wing, Dan Casey, a native of Chatham, New Jersey. Right wing, Max Franklin, a Rentham native. They're centered by Michael Phillips, a junior out of Richmond Heights, Ohio, with 8 points in 15 games. On the blue line, it's Joe DePieto from Westbury, New York, and senior captain Mike Volman, a Wilmington, North Carolina native, with 8 points in 14 games from the blue line. And the aforementioned Jamie Murray will be defending the pipes for Babson. Let's let the UMass Boston Beacons starters introduce themselves right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Matt Lemire, senior forward, Townsend, Massachusetts.
Colin Larkin, sophomore forward, Waterford, Michigan.
Frankie DeAugustine, senior forward from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Brett Mason, junior defenseman, Raleigh, Massachusetts.
Garrett Gallagher, freshman defenseman, Aston, PA.
I'm Billy Faust. I'm a senior goaltender from Alta Loma, California.
Brett Mason and Garrett Gallagher, just sophomore and freshman respectively. A young underclassman blue line for Peter Belisle. Be interesting to see what they do. Let's take a look behind the beacon now on the pregame show at a look at the Babson UMass Boston rivalry.
Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Behind the Beacon. I'm your host, Haley Dutton. It's not often that two teams inside the same conference come into a matchup, both being nationally ranked. But that'll be the case this weekend as number 10, UMass Boston, and number 7, Babson College will meet for the 7th consecutive time, both being nationally ranked. With the two teams only being 20 minutes apart, we decided to take a deeper look inside the intense ECAC East rivalry.
Babson is always one of our fiercest competitors. It's been kind of pushed down from my freshman year. The seniors lost to Babson in the ECAC's final game, and it's been ever since then. It's been kind of instilled that the Babson weekend is our rivalry weekend. It's our home. It's our travel partner team. We want to take 4 points out of the weekend just to prove that. I mean, helps prove to our conference that we're legit. I mean, we got 1 or 2 votes at the beginning of the year to finish in first. Babson and Norwich are always the two that are always going to get those votes, and if we can get a sweep this weekend, it pushes us ahead, and just for next year and even going into playoffs, if we can secure that 2nd seed or that 1st seed even, we can really do some damage in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's a huge weekend, but you know it's every game in our league is just as important. So. Because it's Babson, and yeah, you know they have had our number last year. Certainly, they swept us 3 times, so there's a bit of revenge factor there. But it's another important game, and the opponent is an opponent that has knocked us out of the playoffs a couple times. I think our guys know that, so they, you know. Maybe they're hungrier, but they should really be hungry for every league opponent. So it probably means a little bit more. I know it's been circled on the calendar for quite some time for these guys, and you know, it's a true test to see you know what we're made out of and how we respond to them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very competitive. I think we're 2 of the top teams in the league. You know, playing them 3 times last year obviously adds to that. Obviously frustration at the end of the year, but yeah, guys can definitely tell that things kick up a little bit when we get into that home and home weekend, and it matters. I think it's important to take that experience, but also realize it's a new year. A lot of things change over the course of the year. Going into this weekend, I think we're confident. We know we have the ability. We know we have the team structure. Now it's just time to take it out on the ice and do it.
After Norwich, St. Mike's, we really came together as a team. We won in overtime, came back from 2 deficits to tie it back up and win it. And then Wentworth, we played fairly well. And then going into NEC, which was probably our best game that we've played all year, it's been really like just showing our team's discipline and our team camaraderie and our team's mental toughness. We've really focused on becoming more mentally strong, being in the right spots, making the right plays at the right times, which is what it's starting to seem like we're going to stride right before Babson, which is really important.
I like it, and I think the guys like it too, and it's kind of a neat when you play home and home, there's a little bit of bad blood that can kind of carry over, and it's who's going to be disciplined and who's going to stay focused and who's going to stay at the task at hand. So. When you play a team back to back like that, it can spirits can get a little bit, a little bit more feisty. But we've got to realize that and make sure we're using that to our advantage and not a disadvantage and being undisciplined. And I know we've talked about that a lot. They're a very disciplined team, and we have to be more disciplined than them.
We need to get them the puck. We need to make sure we're strong in our positions and not, because Babson's a very opportunistic team. They're not going to get many chances, but when they do, they score on a lot of them. So we need to really focus on positioning, picking up sticks in front, blocking shots, getting the pucks to our forwards, and giving them confidence to let them know that know that they can score, because they've shown it in the past.
The Beacons will play Babson Friday and Saturday as UMass Boston aims to break their 5-game winless streak against.
We are all set for the opening face-off here from the campus of UMass Boston. Colin Larkin wins the face-off. He's our player to watch, brought to you by Thompson Brother Industries. More on that in a bit. As UMass Boston takes on Babson, we're glad to have you with us in the first of a doubleheader between these two teams, home and home, beginning right here at Clark Athletic Center. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudris. Behind that, Larkin centers it out in front into the slot, but unable to get there was Lemire. And instead, trickling down the other way is Dan Casey to dump it in and chase. Lemire gets the pass from Mason, tries to backhand it into the corner. Brett now is able to find his partner in crime, Garrett Gallagher, a freshman from Aston, Pennsylvania, who motors up the ice and slaps it in. Blue line will go for a line change as Lemire is able to knock this one down. Beacon's trying to get something going. Excuse me, that was Albie Daly who just came on the ice. That yellow line out there early for Peter Belisle as Gallagher's backhand finds Garrison Santapass on the far side boards. Daly unable to poke it out of harm's way. Keeping it in there momentarily was Devaney. And Rob will dump this one all the way in to be taken by the hottest blue liner on the Beacons, Tyler Bishop. Gallagher will get off the ice as he swats it forward. With possession now, it's Mike Miller who absorbs a hit there by the check of Jake Donahue. The shot from Daly from the far side dot is knocked down. Donahue now with possession, being hassled by the 6'5" Garrison Santapass. Mike Miller, a frisky senior forward, getting in on the action as well. He's now got possession, and a little poke check to Santapass. His backhanded feed looking for Albie Daly in front is off the side of the net.
And John, Babson early is taking away the point coverage. The Beacon forwards have no option to go back to the D. There's a forward by Babson planted there the whole time.
Here's Municello's high-rising shot from the point. It's high and wide, and then able to get there now to the near side boards is Bishop. He'll poke this one towards neutral ice where it's swatted down and back in by number 26, senior captain Jared Weidman. Bishop gets the D-to-D feed. Beacon's trying to get it out, and they do. And now this is that top scoring line of Brazel, Seligman, and Ackerman for Jamie Rice's Beavers. Billy Faust is in net tonight, Beacon's leader in wins this year. And trying to get him another victory. Today are the Beacon's defenders, but they turn that one over for Brazel, whose shot is denied by the left leg of Faust. Now there's Ackerman trying to set this one out into the middle. Excuse me, that was Seligman before it's sent out of harm's way and chased down by Demchuk. Behind the net now is Casper. Josh Casper sends it forward, taken by Ackerman. 3-on-2 for the Beavers. Ackerman's shot is blocked down behind the net by Chukrin. And now Charlie with possession on the far side in front of the Beacons bench tries to find Seligman behind the net, and then an exit pass there is blocked down before it's taken forward by Drew Gannon. Gannon's shot is blocked into neutral ice. Chukrin will send it back in, and the Beacons will go for a line change. Back and forth action through the first 3 minutes here in the first period of regulation time. Glad to have you here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network as this shot is blocked down. Initial blast from Matt McMorrow. Near side corner, dump behind the net. Taking the hit is McMorrow. Good aggressive play by Gabe Chukrin. And UMass Boston turns it over at the point, and a blast there by the defenseman. Volman is knocked away by Faust.
The Babson Beavers are just shooting from everywhere, John, and already probably approaching close to 10 shots on goal.
Knocked down with the glove. Chance from the far side. Dot deflected up in the air up the blast from McMorrow. Behind the net now, centering it out towards McMorrow was Jimmy McGrath. He gets the puck back to the point, and it's sent all the way in by Paul Wagner. Careens around the end boards to be taken by UMass Boston, and the Beacons will move forward. Here's Jeremy Finger. Finger has been key for UMass Boston in his first 3 years. However, this year, just 5 games played in 1 point. Here from a wide open chance from the slot, and that blast is wide of the net, coming from the stick of Frankie DeAugustine, their hottest player.
Puck was rolling on him, otherwise it would have been a better shot attempt.
Beacons will try to keep the momentum. There is Frankie in this top line. Colin Larkin out there looking for the feed, and he actually deflected that one and prevented it from getting to Tyler Bishop at the point, who sends it all the way in.
Just a brisk pace to start here. 5 minutes in, approaching, and neither team, we've yet to have a whistle. Neither team is blinking. This is just an absolute brisk pace.
Moving forward now is Franklin, the top line, and the starters for this visiting Babson team. Right into a great scoring opportunity is Michael Phillips, denied by Faust.
That's a huge save by Faust.
Billy Faust with a huge save there with the blocker, keeping it 0-0 in the first 4.5. This one sent in by Frankie DeAugustine, and careens right into the slot. Backhand DeAugustine just wide of the net. This one sent wide by number 22 in white, as he had a chance for a 4th goal in 5 games. This one sent off of the pads by Santapass, and we finally, mercifully so, get a whistle, Matt Meisenbacher.
Yeah, John, I think you needed that whistle more than anybody. That was a lot of going on in the beginning, but the one thing I want to note, Albie Daly is just returning to the bench. He seems to be laboring a little bit on that foot. He was talking to the head trainer, Ed Perkins, and we know Daly's been dealing with some ankle issues early on this season. Looks to be okay. He's back on the bench.
Brett Mason off the face-off win by the Beacons. His shot is blocked down in front. Right out in front from Santapass to Miller. In front from Miller, and his second chance opportunity is denied by Murray. Now here's Albie Daly, a very talented two-way centerman, I should say, as this one is set in front by Santapass. Second chance effort on the backhand by Garrison, and the Illinois native is denied by Jamie Murray.
And this line looks good. This is Santapass, Colucci, and Miller, and this line, that's their second shift of the night, and seeing a lot of energy. You saw Colucci behind the net there, was able to make a nice little shift pass to Miller, who was in the slot. Not sure, it seemed to be, it might have been deflected. Not sure if Murray got a piece of it or if it just missed the net entirely, but nice little play, Colucci to Miller there.
David McGregor, the freshman from Azusa, California, out there centering Drew Gannon and Alex Demchuk. Shuckran and Crawford are the defenders. Face-off is won by Babson and taken back behind the net by DePietro. Big hit there, laid by Gannon, and then he'll try to careen this one off the sideboards. Instead, he finds Joe DePietro, who sends it into the left of Faust. He'll gobble this one up, and we'll have a face-off to Billy Faust's left.
Yeah, Faust is just a little bit upset with himself there. What he wanted to do was deflect that puck off the glass, not necessarily into the netting. Now he's got an in-zone face-off, and he's putting a little bit of pressure on the freshman McGregor to win this draw.
David does stay out there along with his line mates. We'll see what the Beacons do if they win this face-off. They do not. It's back to the point, an opportunity for Volman. His shot is deflected wide of the net, might have been a feed, as this is Seligman sending it out in front, looking for Charlie Ackerman, but instead motoring forward with it is McGregor. He gets it poked away by Volman. McGregor's backhand around the net hits the referee. It's taken by Gannon, backhanded towards McGregor, and David sends it back behind the net, looking for a little assistance in the form of Demchuk, but his stick gets lifted and allows Volman to clear. With possession, here's Matt Brazel, a freshman from Hingham, as he sends this one far into the corner for UMass Boston, as the Beacons are unable to corral that puck, and a shot from the point from the stick of Wagner is deflected wide by Faust. 13:45 to go. Andrew Crawford able to find Gannon, who backhands it in and goes for a full line change. Beacons will get that yellow line out there. Daly, Lindsay, and Finger. Ackerman sends it all the way to the far side to be taken by Brazel. He's able to get it out of harm's way. This will not be icing as it's waved off. Chasing after it, freshman from Hudson, Brian Carter, who backhands it towards Tyler Bishop. This one sent all the way in towards Jamie Murray's crease, and number 1 for Babson, Jamie Murray, will cover up for a whistle.
And this is that old school yellow line. We have Daly, Finger, and Lindsay, who's been a great addition to this line, and you know, they have such a physical aspect to the way that they play. You hope that, John, they're going to continue to have that edge. They're going to need it tonight.
Peter Belisle in his 10th season for the UMass Boston Beacons, the D3 Coach of the Year in 2013, looking for his 135th career victory this evening. And he's the UMass Boston hockey leader in wins, unsurprisingly, with those numbers. We'll get a look at Jamie Rice in a little bit as UMass Boston loses this face-off in the attacking zone. It's sent towards neutral ice where it's knocked down by Gouveia. And now taking it in is Jimmy McGrath, able to find a man in front, and then looking for McGrath was McMorrow, but a good defensive play by Brian Carter.
Carter and Daly getting back on that play to not let that be a scoring opportunity. That could have easily been 1-0.
That was Brian Carter, able to get it out of harm's way to Finger, and this one's sent all the way in by Daly. Chasing after it is Lindsay as the Beacons go for a forward line change. Teeing up and swatting this one all the way in is Garrett Gallagher, as able to corral and take out of harm's way is Max Franklin. He's 1-on-4, and it makes it easy for Colin Larkin to corral that puck and find Gallagher, who sends it in. 12:30 to go here in the first period of play. Fisted away by the defender, that was Larkin, as the Augustine's rising shot is knuckled away by the waffle board of Murray. Kept in the zone by Gallagher. He sends it back behind the net, careens around the end boards where it's almost reached there by Lemire. Instead, it does reach neutral ice as Larkin has to send it back for Mason, who fires it all the way in, and the Beacons will reset. Colin Larkin absorbs the hit, maintains possession. He goes all the way around towards the top of the point, looking for assistance, and he finds it in the form of Gallagher, but his pass looking towards the sideboards is knocked down, and we'll see what the whistle is here.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a crease violation, but it looks like that net came off the peg a little bit, and that's going to probably be an in-zone face-off. They're not going to give Babson a chance to change here, so advantage to UMass. See who Coach Blau puts out there. It looks like it's going to be Colucci, Miller, and Santapass, and obviously John, with Babson not being allowed to change there, UMass has a little bit of advantage. Babson looks a little bit tired in their own end.
You've got to look at Jamie Rice, two-time New England Hockey Coach of the Year. He's definitely an accomplished coach for Babson. A great meeting of the minds between Belisle and Rice whenever they get together, and that's why so many of these games are so close and so competitive so far through 9 minutes of play here. UMass Boston trying to keep possession and momentum in Babson's zone, but instead skating forward with this one is Dan Casey. Far side taken back behind the net by Phillips. Phillips down there with Franklin and Casey. Franklin tumbles down like a tree in the forest, gets back up towards the near sideboards and is able to maintain possession, gets it towards the point for DePietro. DePietro tried to go around the horn with that pass. Instead, it's knocked down by the stanchion. And now taking it up is Chukrin, who sends it in for Murray, and he'll play it safe, covering up with 11-12 to go. And then a bit of an ice shower there as Gabe Chukrin greets Jamie Murray back at Clark's Athletic Center.
That is a goalie's worst nightmare there. You have a nice little whistle, puck stumped in, just an easy cover, and you see Murray, I'm laughing. I know what that feels like. Murray's wiping his face. He absolutely got snowed real good there, and Chukrin got away with one, and now see, this is the problem though. Belak's coming over. He just talked to Lyle. I know Belak, he calls a really tight game, and Lyle's going to relay that message to Chukrin saying, hey, listen, that was funny and that was good, but if you get a penalty, it's going to be trouble. But I'm laughing. From a goalie standpoint, John, no one ever likes to get snowed.
That's for sure. Whether it be in D3 or in the NHL, you always see there's some sort of retaliation for that. We'll see what Babson does. This one's dumped all the way in by Bishop. Chasing after it is McGregor. He keeps it in. Good play by the young centerman. Unfortunately, he's unable to maintain possession as he was hassled there by Jared Weidman, the 6'3" senior from Pembroke. Now here comes the Beavers looking to peck their way into the zone, but the Beacons knock it down. That was Gannon able to find Demchuk, and now both of those two will chase after it. Gannon calls off Demchuk and goes after the puck. Alex trying to fist this one back behind the net, but he's unable to do so. And now here's Tommy Municiello with possession. The freshman from Weymouth has 7 points in 14 games.
What a last name, Municiello. That's almost as good as Meisenbacher.
It's a difficult one to say. Meisenbacher rolls off the tongue. It's fun to say. That's why I say it so much. As this one's Bishop. His shot at it gloved out of thin air by Jamie Murray, and he flashes that leather on that one.
Two things I see there. Obviously, we talked about Bishop in the pregame, and just offensively, he's making me look good again. Joining that rush with the forwards, able to snap a quick shot off, and Murray, the flexibility and his reflexes are just so on point. You saw there, makes it look routine. That's actually a very tricky save through a screen, made that glove save look almost routine, and a great stop by him.
Face-off won by the Beavers as Ackerman in this top scoring line motor in. That Ackerman's shot is gobbled up by the breadbasket of Faust for a whistle. We are just about halfway through one period, and Matt, we look back at the first 9:59 of this one. What strikes your eye?
I have not seen many mistakes. It has been a fast-paced game. Both teams know what's at stake here, and really almost your postseason on the line. UMass knows being in the driver's seat what's at stake, and Babson needs these wins. So I haven't seen many mistakes. Both teams extremely accurate with the puck, extremely accurate with their passes, doing a really nice job so far on both ends.
Face-off won by the Beavers, and a rising shot there from Wagner is high and wide. Beavers trying to get some shots in on Faust. They had a lot in the first few minutes, not so many since then, as Maintaining possession in his own zone is Donahue for Wagner, but his stretch feed is off the mark, and this is not icing, as clear as day that Garrett Gallagher let that one go at the blue line. Here is Garrett getting it from Mason. DeAugustine lets it go, and unfortunately it was swatted back in by Donahue. This, however, will be icing, so a break for UMass Boston.
Yep, there's your icing. And again, this line is going to need to continue the production, going to need to be what they have been really for most of the season. You see them out there, DeAugustine, Larkin, and Lemire. Lemire leading the Division III in assists and in points now. So he's been doing great from a playmaking standpoint, and Larkin and DeAugustine have been doing a nice job burying the puck as well.
It'll be Frankie taking the face-off, trying to get it to Matt Lemire on the near side. Matt doing a good job poking it away there from Wagner, and now with possession is Larkin on the far side, able to keep it in as Crawford, but his chance to dump it in is deflected out of the zone by McMorrow.
Got to keep that puck in if you're Crawford.
Andrew has possession, careens this one off the near side boards. It's sent back in there by number 26, Jared Weidman. And behind the net, trying to find some help, is Chukrin. And he is able to find Frankie, who sends it all the way towards Lemire, trying to poke that one past the defender. That was Casper. And then he just dumps it in and goes for a line change. Larkin, 1-on-4 right now on the ice. He gets a little bit of reinforcements as coming in are both Miller and Santa Pass, and Miller levels the boom on Josh Casper, and he'll pay the price as he will head to the penalty box with 8:45 to go.
Oh, that looked bad, John, and unfortunately Miller's going to get a penalty here. It's really, he was making a move on the puck. I wouldn't say it was anything egregious. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He was just trying to make a play there behind the net, but unfortunately DeForge caught an edge, and as Miller was hitting him, put his head in the boards. It looked worse than it actually was, and both players are obviously fine. Miller's just upset because DeForge was catching an edge as that contact was made, which made it look worse than it is. Really, no choice but the referee to call it, and UMass is going to have to kill a penalty.
It's a 2-minute minor, and UMass Boston will have to go shorthanded for the first time. We'll get a whistle, as this was pretty clearly offsides, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely, and really no the conferencing about it. I think for some reason maybe had a bad angle. It looked pretty obvious from up here that was offsides, but you see him out there now. You got Albie Daly back on the penalty kill. He just does such a good job sacrificing the body, and obviously we'll make note of it. And unfortunately, Connor McStravick not on the penalty kill and is dealing with some issues, is not in the lineup tonight, but Albie Daly does just such a good job on the penalty kill, knows his role, knows how to block shots, and it's good to see him back on the ice.
The yellow line just got a little darker without Connor McStravick out there brightening things. He was always a very talented player on that yellow line, both offensively and defensively. He's turned off on his offensive game this year. He will be missed on the ice as UMass Boston has to kill a penalty without him. The good news is Babson's power play is not strong, as this one's denied there by Faust with the blocker, as this one is attempted to be sent towards the point. Babson on the season averaging just 15% on the power play, 8 of 54, as this one is fisted away by McGregor. Great play to get his stick in the passing lane.
Well, see, it's plays like that. Donahue, that player was clearly covered. He forced the pass, and easy for UMass to clear the zone.
Far-sided opportunity from the dot, as this one is denied by Faust. Rebound in front, and Faust able to cover as Rob Devaney, the sophomore from Reading, was looking for goal number 8.
Devaney with a little bit of a tricky shot there. Faust did a nice job making the save, but had a little bit of a rebound. That puck was loose, and if another streaking Babson player had been there, it could have been in the back of the net, but regardless, a good save. And what I'm noticing, Faust, like on most nights, way out of his crease, playing at the top or outside of that blue paint, and that's when I know he's on his game. When he's taking away that angle and he's playing aggressive, that's when he's at his best.
I was curious who Coach Blau was going to go with tonight, because you'd think it would be Andrews tomorrow, as it's Faust to open up the doubleheader, as this one is won by the Beavers. A blast fisted away with the waffle board from the blast there from Volman. Nice save by Faust.
Yeah, great blocker save, not only just to stop it, but to direct it in the area where it was safest, and then an easy clear for UMass. And you mentioned the goaltending. A lot of that will be based on tonight. If Faust plays well, expect him to play tomorrow.
You think?
Absolutely, yeah. Coach is going to ride the hotter goaltender right now. Neither goaltender has played particularly well of late, and he's going to ride the guy that's doing the best.
We'll see what Faust can do, as that was a high-rising shot there from the stick of Michael Phillips. Phillips is unable to keep it in the zone, and with 32 seconds to go, the Beacons can get some fresh legs out there, as Murray has to do some house cleaning in his own crease. With possession in his own zone is Volman. The Wilmington native sends it far side, skating up with possession, and then going around the defense, trying to center it in front there was Franklin, looking for Casey. Now behind the net here is Franklin. Max with possession, loses it, and the Beacons able to press forward. 10 seconds until we're evened up, as Daly smartly gets the message from Coach Bilal, just turn back and waste some time.
Yeah, that's great. Coach to captain there. Bly was yelling, you got time, you got time. Daly circled back to finish off the penalty kill and another successful PK for UMass.
Near side as the power play is over. Backhanded riser from Volman is wide of the net. Great poke check from Colin Larkin, but he's not going to have enough wheels to catch up to that one as he had an opportunity for a 2-on-1. Now here with possession is Seligman, the team's leading scorer, fires in and off the shoulder of Faust, fisted away and back towards the corner for Bill. That's a shot from the far side wall and gobbled up off the blast from Ackerman by Billy Faust. 6:17 to go here in the first period of play. Beacons are dodging some bullets, although they're doing a good enough job to keep it 0-0.
Yeah, Seligman and Ackerman there, and the strategy is just real clear for Babson. It really doesn't take color commentary to see what they're doing. They're shooting from everywhere. They're trying to test Faust as many times as they can tonight, and I'm going to be very curious to see what his shot total is for the first.
Face-off again, won by Babson. They've done a good job in the dot so far today, but a good play made by Lemire to poke it away. He maintained possession. Ooh, whiffed on the pass attempt, sends out a chance in front. That one blocked down by a skate. Might have been Babson's own player off the shot there from Gouveia. And now McMorrow tries to center it for Gouveia, and it's gobbled up off the post by Faust. That was close.
Yeah, and you know what, I'll tell you what, strategic-wise, you never want to go into your own zone. Lemire had a chance there, and I know he didn't have much of an option. It's really his only escape route, but to really bring the puck deeper into your zone, you can see him looking as he's going back to the bench, is he knows the risks involved with taking that puck into his own zone, and then when he muffed the pass a little bit, it really created a great opportunity for Babson. They just weren't able to capitalize on it.
Face-off is won here by UMass Boston. They're trying to get it out of the zone. A rising clearing attempt ends up doinking McGrath in the face and keeps it in the zone. And now this one sent back to the point. Chance for a rising shot. Saved by Faust. Rebound, they score! Bad rebound control from Billy Faust allows a second chance opportunity in front. And the goal, I believe, will be credited to Tommy Municiello.
I have no idea what happened to Faust there. It seemed to make the save. It was in his glove. Shot from the point. It was twisted a little bit, but was in the glove and just out in front. Faust, after that, just wasn't able to corral it. Ends up in the back of the net, and I'm really surprised. He keeps looking at his glove. Doesn't seem to be any issue, and really just kind of a weird way that puck went in. They seemed to make the save, and then the puck was out in front. I'm curious to find out what happened there.
I was at the Frozen Four last year when BU ended up giving up a goal late. The killer goal is taking the hit. There is Miller, and there's your retribution for Mike's hit earlier. Miller trying to get the most powerful retribution, which is a goal. His deflection goes wide. Mike overskates the bouncing puck there, and it is going to be cleared by Municiello.
And John, you were talking about that O'Connor goal, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. That was a backbreaker for BU, as Zesarensky is surely aware.
A couple BU guys on the broadcast tonight. I got to watch myself.
Beacons in the attacking zone trying to get things going. This one D-to-D feed. Babson moving forward. With possession now, here's Casey. Casey going around the horn and all the way in, but he could not get it past the streaking Gabe Chukrin. He's got possession. Gabe far side with possession. Here's Demchuk. Tries to go around the defense. That was Volman, but a good job by Demchuk on the second effort to get it to Gannon. Gannon's backhand off the side of the net. Rebound. Demchuk wrap around wide. He had the opportunity in front, and now this one careens back towards Crawford with a screen in front, but that one off the shoulder of Joe DePietro. From Chukrin's point, deflected in front by Demchuk, just wide.
Demchuk all around the puck right now, John.
Yeah, absolutely. This line has brought some energy here in this shift.
This is amazing to see. Demchuk just, the puck keeps finding him, and with the tip in front, he was almost able to bury that, almost had 2 goals in one shift.
Trying to maintain possession is McGregor. David able to get it to Gabe. Chukrin siphons this one forward into neutral ice. Motoring in now is Brazel. He's all alone. Backhand feed. Great save by Faust, moving laterally to gobble it up with the breadbasket.
And you know what? For the viewers at home, the reason that save is so tricky is the player's coming in kind of at an awkward angle. You have to time that save. You're trying to take away that far side as long as you possibly can. You know you're going to force him short side, and you just got to try to beat him in the spot. Faust did a great job there of baiting that player into that short side backhand shot and then taking it away at the last minute. Great save by Faust, no rebound.
Beacons trying to keep possession out of the hands of this very talented line of Seligman, Ackerman, and Brazel. Brazel's a freshman from Hingham, but he's got 6 points in 10 games playing with these very talented wingers in Ackerman and Seligman. Face-off is won by Brazel. Here's Ackerman's opportunity, blocked down by Bishop. Charlie gets it back, backhanded. Ooh, that was a lot of mustard on a backhand from the near side wall, just high and wide. Finger looking for some help, and Daly was a little bit late getting in as Finger is offside.
Yeah, just a touch off sides, and here you have it, 3:37 left in the first period, and you got a 1-0 hockey game, and goals it seems like are going to be hard to come by tonight. This game could go one of two ways. This is either going to be a very low-scoring affair or a very high-scoring affair. I don't project to see this at a 2-3 game or a 4-3 game. This is either going to be a 6-5, 7-5 or 1-0, 2-1.
Well, let's hope it's not 1-0 as the Beacons trail 1-0 to the Babson College Beavers on the 5th goal of the season from Tommy Municiello. Backhanded feed from Finger, looking for a little assistance in front from Lindsay. That's off the mark. Lindsay fighting for possession there, and he's unable to get it from Brazel, and they clear for Seligman. 3-on-2 with Brazel and Ackerman, but Seligman's pass attempt knocked up in the air by Carter and out of play as a good play made there by the Hudson native.
I'll tell you what, John, that looked a little bit offsides. I think the refs might have missed one there. That was just a little bit off. Something about that rush just seemed to be just a touch offsides. They didn't call it.
Well, they aren't perfect, but the refs in this league do a good job. As long as they're calling it both ways, we say it's every broadcast because there's always one call that is just ludicrous, but as long as they're calling it both ways, we're okay.
Absolutely.
Behind the net they come, back towards the near side dot, able to get that one with McMorrow from Donahue. Donahue re-administers his position at the point as fighting for it behind the net is McMorrow, getting it to Donahue. Donahue shot with a screen in front, kicked away smartly there by Faust, sent right into the circle with a chance. It's blocked out in front, and putting team above himself right there, and getting down was Garrett Gallagher. Icing coming on up on UMass Boston.
And after a block like that from Gallagher, you take that icing. I hope he's all right. He seems to be laboring just a little bit. Obviously, getting hit with a puck, unless you're a goaltender, never feels good. But, you know, just that's what it takes to win the hockey game. Gallagher, you see here.
That's the goal.
That's the goal there on Faust. Again, not quite sure what happened on that glove save, but getting back to Gallagher, a really nice block shot in the slot. That was a golden opportunity for Babson.
Babson maintaining the offensive rush here as they are able to win the initial face-off. Good job by this top line to get it out of the zone. DeAugustine along with Larkin and Lemire. DeAugustine fighting for it. Larkin in front, and a quick snapshot from the near side dot from Lemire is gobbled up by Murray.
Great play. I'll take that. Obviously not in the back of the net, but I'll take that. Lemire didn't get everything he wanted on it, but just a nice quick play. Started with DeAugustine on the blue line, was able to get around the defenseman, put the puck through his legs, was able to get into the corner, dish it off to Larkin for a touch pass to Lemire for a quick shot on goal. Nice save by Murray.
Beacons send out that yellow line. Excuse me, that's the second line. Colucci, Miller, and Santapass. This is a good offensive line, but also one that can bring the ruckus on defense as Bishop and Carter out there in their own zone. Bishop sends it forward looking for Colucci, but he's unable to knock it down. D-to-D feed. That's Volman finding DePieto. Santapass takes the body as DePieto's able to siphon it forward for Devaney, but a good poke check by Bishop, who shows his two-way skills. And unable to get there first is Santapass. Sent all the way back as the Beavers will go for a line change. Near side, Mike Miller already laid a hit and absorbed a hit behind Jamie Murray's net here in the first 20 minutes.
Miller loves mixing it up, and expect that to continue for the rest of the game.
Down to 95 seconds, and icing called on Babson College. 1:32 to go here in the first period of play. UMass Boston trailing 1-0 on the 5th goal of the year from freshman Tommy Municiello. And for the Beacons, they've gotten some good scoring opportunities, but really I haven't seen any second or third chances.
No, none so far, and Babson's really controlled the play until these last two shifts by UMass. There's a great shot and a great save off the draw. DeAugustine is just known for that. If that draw is one clean, he's going to let that go, and you see Murray's aware of that. Obviously did his scouting. He was on his toes, was able to make a nice glove save.
Lemire trying to win another faceoff. He just did it. Got it back to DeAugustine. Teed up for Shuckran. Swatted away with the waffle board by Murray and cleared here by Babson. Franklin with possession, able to find Casey. Casey all alone in the attacking zone until both Franklin and Phillips pinch in. Here is Max Franklin getting the body of Shuckran, and Crawford is looking for Larkin, and now as good a second effort by Crawford as Andrew gets it out of the zone for Lemire. 3-on-4, Beacons outnumbered, but DeAugustine will fire it into the breadbasket of Murray, and with 64 seconds to go, a face-off to Murray's left.
And that's a veteran play there by DeAugustine. Didn't really have much of an option in terms of a pass, so he fired it into the chest. you're not really trying to score a goal there. You're just trying to create a whistle and pass it to the next line. You see out there, that's going to be Daly with Finger and Lindsay and try to create something off the draw.
Yellow line for UMass Boston. Daly trying to win the faceoff. He does. Trying to keep it in the zone there as Lindsay sends it back behind for Finger. Jeremy defers, tries to absorb the stick of the defender. That was Jake Donahue, able to set something towards the far side of the net, but Murray's able to gobble up an opportunity from Daly, and we'll get a whistle as some sticks rising up there. It was both Donahue and Daly getting at it.
Yeah, you see that anytime you're around the net, it's going to be some extracurriculars, but Beacons have done a nice job. They strung together about 2 or 3 good shifts here, trying to close out the period, maybe tie this thing up before they head into the locker room.
Same lines for both teams. Daly unable to win the faceoff this time, as taking it was Gouveia. And now moving forward with possession is Brazel. The centerman on this line is able to get it behind the net. Seligman pinches in, looking for Ackerman. Bad turnover right in the slot. Shot. Knuckle puck goes wide as that one rose up into the far side of Billy Faust. Charlie Ackerman had a point-blank opportunity. Might have gotten a piece of it, was one of the Beacons defenders.
That he did, John. And that's the second bad turnover UMass has had in their own zone.
There's a third, and Seligman able to set a man up. Faust saves, rebound, he loses sight of it, but we get a whistle with 14 and a half to go in period number 1. That shot came from Gouveia, who was fresh off the bench looking for his first goal of the season.
Can't win a hockey game creating turnovers like that. These are grade A opportunities, and Faust just able to come up with a great save moving laterally to his right and just was able to swallow that somehow. They're trying to find the puck. It's somewhere in his pads. He's even trying to find it himself. It's an awkward feeling as a goaltender when everyone's looking at you. You have no idea where the puck is. But anyway, bad turnovers for the Beacons here. That's 3 in 1 period that have really created grade A opportunities for Babson, and Faust has been up to the task with 14 seconds left in the first.
Beacons have to get out of this at least only down 1 as Gallagher has possession. If he can clear it, they will, and he can't. At least not on the initial effort. Stays in. Larkin can't get it out. Turnaround blast blocked down in front there. And Chukrin will watch Larkin send this one out of the zone. And the clock strikes 0 in the first period of this one. So the Beacons fall behind early here after 1 period. The 5th goal of the year from Tommy Municiello. We'll have highlights of that first period in a little bit here on the intermission. But Meisenbacher, this was a bit of a disappointing first period for the Beacons offensively. They didn't have a whole lot of offensive opportunities, and right now they have to take a look at what they have to do in the second period to get back in this one.
Yeah, to be honest, John, I really didn't see too much on either end that was really cause for concern. I think both teams are playing extremely well. They haven't made many mistakes. The one goal that Babson scored, I think Faust is going to want to look at that tape to find out what happens, but obviously that not quite sure how he wasn't able to squeeze that puck, but similar to a quarterback having a pass deflected and get it intercepted, not totally his fault. The puck was probably rolling a little bit. Regardless of the situation, it's a 1-0 hockey game. Beacons are going to make adjustments. Babson's going to make adjustments. We'll see what we have in the second period. And right now, we're going to go down to the bench for an interview with Coach Weil.
It's down 1-0 after the first period today. You had 2 come from behind victories last weekend. What do you do to get another today?
I thought we came out a little tentative. I didn't want to come out that way. I thought they took it to us a little bit, but I thought we played better in the end. We had some of our best chances in the second part of that period, even though they scored. So we're gonna we're gonna play more on our toes and not on our heels, and hopefully we can carry a little bit of that last 5 minutes that I thought we saw there into the second period and build upon that.
Now Billy Faust played great behind the net today. A lot of stops. How do you kind of switch the puck to the other end and get a lot more offensive opportunities?
Yeah, we're not getting a good forecheck. We're dumping it in, and I don't think we're getting 2 guys hard enough on it. So that's got to change. Our first guy's getting in there too late, and our second guy's nowhere to be found. So we got to adjust that for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Back to the booth.
And we'll take it there. We're going to send it to the State of the Beacons for some highlights. Be back to you after this.
Months into the start of this new program. Don't judge us on the first 6 months. Judge us on where we'll be at in a year or 2. But I can tell you that we're going to play hard every night. We're going to compete every game, and we're going to come to work every day.
We're very happy with where we are in the standings right now, but we're not content, so we're going to keep pushing. We want to stay in the present while looking forward to the future too. So we definitely want to improve on the past years and have our strongest push yet.
Yeah, really excited about Monin Park. Was just out there yesterday again. The field's pretty much completed besides just a couple of landscaping things. But it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a fantastic playing facility. Having that Fenway Park feel is going to be outstanding. Give us a really true home field advantage. It's great for recruits. Just walk the 5-star recruit up there, and that's what it's about. You're going to get better players. You can get better player development. It's going to give a real sense of Beacon pride to everyone involved.
The State of the Union of women's basketball right now is history was made last night in our game versus Plymouth State, where Olivia Murphy had her 1,000th rebound. As a coach in my 10 years, I've never witnessed that, and it was definitely a special thing, and hopefully we can carry it for the second half of our season.
Biggest focus in the winter and spring is to continue to get stronger and get some valuable match play in the spring trip, and afterward we have a couple events. I feel like we have a great team, an all-around 1 through 6 team who are all going to contribute, and we want to continue that and basically work towards becoming an elite team in the LEC next fall.
So far so good with our team this year. Really happy with our group. We're having a good year. We're nationally ranked, and if you would have told me at the beginning of the year we'd be 12-2-1 at this point in the season, I'd be very happy. Our work's not done yet, and we've got a lot of work to do, and it starts this weekend with another conference weekend. And they're all big down the stretch, and you want to be playing your best hockey come post-tourney time. So hopefully we can do that.
Hey, welcome to Beacons Nation. I'm totally excited about going into this weekend's meet at Plymouth State. We're looking forward to our returners, Kelly Desane, Dom, and Fritz Gustav, Chris, Cian, Xavier Romero, to name a few, and we have lots more freshmen that have been contributing week after week and have been doing really well. So I'm really excited for the season.
I'm really excited to see what the girls are going to bring on February 1st. They seem like a super dedicated group. They're enthusiastic. They are excited and ready to go. We've been communicating and talking about the level of commitment and dedication that the girls have, and I am fired up to see what February 1st brings.
Men's tennis. We have a very young team. I feel like we've made a transition from, a core group of players that were on the championship team all since graduated. So it's exciting to have a new group. We definitely took our lumps in the fall, but I feel like we're going to be a much stronger team in the spring. We have a couple guys returning that we didn't have in the fall.
As we begin our 2016 spring season, the future looks bright for the women's soccer team with a lot of young talent and a lot of young new talent that'll be coming in the fall. And we're excited that we're building and continuing our success. If we continue to work hard this spring, the fall should be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beacons Nation. Totally excited about this season. Our women's program have been doing great. We're looking forward to returners Taylor Smith in the throws, All-American Hillary McGuffey in the 2 and the 4, as well as Anisha Trappier in the 16 and 200. We're also excited to have newcomers such as Taylor Driggers in the long and triple jump, as well as Lexi Bean. And Sarah Morenz in the throwing. So we're looking forward to a great season.
How does this year's championship compare to the last 5 that you guys have won?
We're on to the next one.
6 titles, tied for the most in conference history. How does that feel?
We're on to the next one.
Welcome back into the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Skudras. Beacons trailing 1-0 after 1 period of play against the Babson College Beavers. Let's take a look at the first period intermission statistics for these two clubs. Beacons being outshot 16-11. Obviously, Jamie Murray doing a great job stopping all 11 shots he faced. Billy Faust stopping 15 of 16. Face-offs pretty even, 14-12 in favor of Babson, and of course the Beavers had the only power play, a penalty for boarding on Mike Miller, that resulted in a failed effort by Babson's 15% power play advantage. For UMass Boston in that first period, you saw a lot of effort gone for naught. Gabe Chukrin had 2 shots, Garrison Santapass as well. Frankie DeAugustine had 3 to continue his hot streak, but none of those shots were able to tickle the twine as UMass Boston was stymied by Jamie Murray, who now on his career is 57-18 with a 1.69 goals against average. That is tops in D3 hockey. He is the best goalie in this conference and perhaps in this country at this level. We take a look at the New England Hockey Conference out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Kaler Sales, LLC, a family business focused on bringing you the best prices on all of your logging equipment. Kaler Sales, LLC. And we look at the New England Hockey Conference. New England College leading Castleton 2-1 at the end of one. Meanwhile, the Cadets of Norwich are triumphing over University of New England 2-1 at the end of one as well. Southern Maine is getting doused by St. Michael's 4-1 after one. And we do not yet have a score update on Skidmore and the Hawks of St. Anselm in their matchup. But we talk about the New England Hockey Conference, and Matt, the New England Hockey Conference, very tight at the top between these two teams, but there's still a lot of very talented individuals elsewhere in this conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And any team is fully capable of beating another team on any given night, regardless of where they are in the rankings or where they stand. You know, there's been 3 top teams for the last few years. It's been Norwich, Babson, and UMass, but you see it time and time again. At any point in time, you run into a hot goaltender, or you run into a night where things aren't clicking, and a last-place team can beat a first-place team. We've seen it. So the conference is only getting stronger, and they've done some things to increase that talent-wise. You're seeing more and more guys. The talent pool has been spread out amongst not only just the top 3, but amongst the conference. So they're doing all the right things, and it's indicative of every year these teams being competitive.
Absolutely. Let's take a look around at the UMass Boston Beacons women's hockey team playing right now up 1-0 over New England College at the end of one.
But as John was saying, women's hockey have 1-0 over New England College at the end of the first period. Women's basketball is going to travel to Eastern Connecticut Saturday. That'll be at 1 o'clock. And men's basketball will travel to Eastern Connecticut Saturday as well. That game will follow the women at 3. So you see here, obviously, women doing well against NEC at the end of the first period. That's up in New Hampshire, and always good to see the women's program doing well on any given night.
Absolutely, and the women's team, meanwhile, here in 2015, not having quite as much of a banner year as the men's team, but at the same time, under a new coach, they've done a good job in regaining some of that momentum they had at the end of last year.
Yeah, a team that's just really gritty, and I'm familiar with a lot of girls on the team. They really come together as a unit. They're in it for each other, and although they're not winning on a consistent basis, they're doing the right things to head in that direction. And they got a great coach behind the bench in Berman. She does a great job. She played at a high level. She knows what she's talking about.
Now back to this game, and as we transition out of around Beaconville and just take a look at this ice as the Zamboni does his rounds, getting the job done, ready for the second period. The UMass Boston Beacons need these 2 games against Babson. They cannot get swept. If they get swept, they're out of first place and they're on their heels moving forward. How critical is just winning this game? Because then you have a little flexibility tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, most guys know full well what this weekend entails and how much of a battle it actually is to go home and home against a rival that's really just down the road. And we saw it here in the first period. Real physical, both teams not making a lot of mistakes, but you mentioned it. It starts with the first game, and quite honestly, going into the game, you talk to a lot of the players, and they're going to tell you this is one of the biggest weekends really in program history you can make a case for, because, again, UMass being in the driver's seat, up 3 points in first place, you walk out of this weekend with 3 or 4 points, you're really solidifying yourself for a national bid if you take care of business the rest of the way. Now, to get to that point, you have to win the first game, and you see it here tonight. There's some things. We saw some turnovers. We saw Faust kind of give up an iffy goal. You're doing some things that you got to win tonight if you're going to get to that second game and have a chance to get that 3 or 4 point weekend. So it starts tonight, and the players are well aware of that.
Let's take a look at highlights of the men's 4-3 win over Babson from last year.
Jersey, I'm speaking about income. Did you hear that, Elizabeth? Here come the big one. I put more money in the community than you got in your budget. I want my put your advance to the toilet, then flush it. My last stance be a stance of a General Custard. I hot dog cause I can, I got the cheese and mustard. I got the stats of a Hall of Fame in just 2 records. That's why I'm back up at the Super Bowl with Julius Peppers. I got that can't stop, won't stop in my vein. That's why they can't stop, won't stop screaming the name. Nelly, Nelly. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. I'ma keep the same grin whether I lose or win. Up or down 10, I'ma fight to the end. Let's go. Ain't no way they can stop me now, Daddy, cause I'm on my way. I can feel my ring coming. It's the blood of a champion flowing deep inside my veins. Too much pride to be running. I'ma get what I can and more, even if my blood, my sweat, and my tears don't mean nothing. It's the heart of a champion. It's the heart of a It's the heart of a big first round, signing bonus profound, playing for his hometown, repping for the whole crowd. Buckle like Michael Red. Tell him again, it's buckle like Michael Red.
That was highlights of last year's big game for the Beacons. Let's take a look at highlights of the first period between Babson and UMass Boston. A game right now after 20 minutes that Babson leads 1-0. And as you see here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, Babson with the lead, but UMass Boston's Billy Faust did a great job late in that period to keep it 1-0.
Yeah, that was that save late in the period that, quite honestly, probably should have been in the back of the net. And Faust did a great job moving across laterally, not only to make that save, but was able to corral it and get in a position where there was no secondary opportunity. Now, how much of that was skill and how much of that was luck, I'll leave that up to the viewer, but regardless, a really nice save by him.
Speaking of nice saves, Jamie Murray just made one and another there, snatching that one like ripened fruit.
Murray's been on all night, and his reflexes have been there. Beacons need to test him more. You see here a shot by Babson, a save by Faust. That was that opportunity. And here another turnover by the Beacons. That was that Lemire play, 2 block shots. They're going to get a third opportunity to get deflected, and then here's that awkward goal. I still can't figure out what happened. He seemed to have it. The one thing I do notice there is, as a goaltender, you never want to turn sideways. Obviously, you always want to be square to the puck and have the net behind it. He did tilt slightly. He might have caused a little bit of that second opportunity to give the Babson Beavers that 1-0 lead, and these are just some more highlights from the period. You see there.
Well, it's about Billy recovering. He made a couple of great saves, the one moving laterally and then that one right there. He lost sight of it, but is able to keep his composure and stay on. And as now we are ready for the second period face-off, it's going to be key for him to maintain that momentum. Don't get down from a bad goal.
Got to move on. Shouldn't even be in his mind at this point.
One of the most important things for a goalie, and you know it, Matt, is a short memory. If you give up a bad one, you got to move on.
Instantly. You think about it, and then once they drop that puck at center ice, it's over.
Here's a chance for Babson right out in front. Great save, Billy Faust with the pad. Rebound and a chance on a one-timer from the far side. Misses the mark. And UMass Boston on their heels early as Max Franklin, Michael Phillips, and Dan Casey almost combined for the second goal.
I think Faust probably has a headset on underneath that mask, because there you have it. We just literally talked about moving on from that goal he had given up, and there 2 great saves to start the period. We're only about 14 seconds in, and there you have Faust making 2 great saves. My math is not good, apparently.
UMass Boston Education. What a ringing endorsement, Matt Meisenbacher.
These BU guys always give me a hard time.
1936 to go. BC, Matt Meisenbacher. Don't lump me in with this guy. He's doing great in his phone to even notice. Regardless, UMass Boston's in their own zone here. We're talking about Seth Orensky, a BU graduate, myself a BC graduate. Those 2 teams playing in hockey, a huge rivalry just up the road here in Boston, Massachusetts.
Huge rivalry, and John, I'll show my cards now. My dad graduated BC in '85, so even though I give you a hard time, I am a BC Eagle at heart.
That's good to hear, as the Beacons will try to put some heart into their effort here in the second period. Santa Pass did it there by blocking the shot attempt from the point by Wagner, and now Garrison's able to fist this one out of harm's way and all the way down, but too bad for him. It's icing on 24 and white.
Well, the one thing I want to see from UMass this period is let's test Murray here. I mean, quite honestly, they've had some opportunities. He has come up with some nice saves. You saw a few highlights. He was active with the glove, but they haven't really been able to stack opportunities on top of each other to really test the goaltender. So look for UMass to maybe take some calculated risks this period to try and see if they can get Murray to blink.
Absolutely. Both these goalies are too good to beat him on the initial opportunity a majority of the time. You're going to need second and third chances. The Beacons, unless I'm mistaken, haven't had more than one or maybe two. Faceoff is won by the Beacons. Backhanded by Carter. Behind the net is Bishop. And a cross-ice pass for Santa Pass had way too much muster on it for Miller, and that's icing and a bad play for UMass Boston.
Yeah, bad play. Now, what's interesting is Faust was at the bench, and I think we're actually going to have a penalty. Yeah, it must have been behind the play, John. As that whistle was blown, I took a look at the ice, and Faust was almost at the bench at that point. And there you have it. We are going to have a power play for UMass. It looks like Siegelman's going to go. The call is going to be holding. Not sure what happened. Again, it was behind the play, but a golden opportunity here for UMass. They had just committed icing, but the penalty will trump that. This is going to be an in-zone face-off. You're going to have Santa Pass, Lemire, and DeAugustine with Larkin and Bishop running the point.
Saw Weidman arguing that the face-off, even with the penalty, should not be in their own zone. Regardless, there's a shot deflected off the stick of Larkin, deflected by Franklin. It stays in.
Yeah, so right there, obviously on an icing, it's going to come all the way back down the other end, but the penalty that was created is going to trump that rules, and that's why you have that end zone draw.
Not the best in the business for nothing, Meisenbacher, as you give us the lay of the land here in D3 hockey. Matt Lemire getting ready to take this face-off. DeAugustine drops it back, and bad communication there as Larkin was not in position.
Oh, just one too many. DeAugustine 9 times out of 10 is going to fire that puck. He tried to get creative, pass it to Larkin. Nice play, just wasn't able to connect. And there you see Babson's going to ice that all the way down, send it down foul end.
1:37 to go in the 2-minute minor penalty. Tyler Bishop, the point man on the power play, able to send it far side. Here's Lemire. Matt Lemire, the leader in D3 hockey in points, as he sends this one off the shoulder of Jamie Murray, I believe, and it's going to be cleared, and a chance for a 2-on-1 as DeAugustine hustles back. Franklin is the man looking for the pass. Instead, it's a first back for Donahue, and his shot is blocked down in front, I believe, by DeAugustine.
Yeah, DeAugustine deflected it. Lemire did a nice job getting back.
And now Santa Pass will try to get things going. The power play is half over. Good job by Larkin to knock it down. Send it right out in front for Garrison, but Santa Pass sees that one careen off his stick and out of play.
And I like Blyle making a change here. This is not how you want to run the power play. You have the man advantage. The last thing you want to be doing is playing up and down the ice with a team that has one less player on the ice than you do. So a good change here by Blyle. He's going to throw out the secondary unit, and it's going to be Daly, it looks like, with Colucci and Lindsay. And I'm not sure at the point, definitely going to be Miller. I can't see who the other defenseman is.
It's Jabe Chukrin as UMass Boston comes out with a bit of a different second power play unit than one we've been familiar with, as Daly out there along with Lindsay, who has control of the puck, and now Colucci motors through as this one's sent in by Daly, and tripped up there and caught drawing a penalty is Mike Miller. So the Beacons will have a 5-on-3 advantage for 43 seconds, and it's the captain, Jared Weidman, heading to the sin bin for 2.
I was just about to say how risky that across the blue line pass is, especially when you're on a rush and especially when you're on the power play, because chances are they're trying to hold that blue line as much as possible, but it worked, and that's what created the penalties. That pass connected. Miller was going to be around that defenseman. Before he could get past him, he was forced to take a draw, and here you have a 5-on-3 for UMass.
Top line back out there. Blue liners. The only blue liner, in fact, is Bishop. He gets possession. Larkin's on the far side on the point. He takes possession. Bishop gets it from Larkin. Bishop down low for DeAugustine. Frankie Wade back to the top of the dot, but Murray's lateral quickness is enough to save the blast from Colin Larkin.
And I'll take that there, John. You got to force Murray to come up with some saves, and he is quick laterally, but that was a heavy shot by Larkin. He got a lot of that one. DeAugustine put it right where he wanted it. Nice save by Murray.
Haven't seen any of Brett Mason here in the second period on the power play, as getting hooked down there with the bare arm, or with the free arm there, was Santa Pass. Nonetheless, no call. Bishop, D-to-D feed for Larkin. Larkin waits, goes to Bishop, fakes the one-timer, back towards Colin. Our player to watch sends it down low for Matt Lemire. Lemire waiting. Santa Pass manned out in front as the screen in front of Murray. What a towering figure he is!
Oh,
what a save!
What a save!
On the second chance as well. And number 1 in green is number 1 in the Babson fans' hearts. He keeps it 1-0 Beavers on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
And that's why he's getting NHL looks right there. You see those saves. Those are NHL saves right there. Great passing, and the Beacons were smart. They got it to their playmaker, Lemire, let him create a play, was able to shuffle that pass backdoor to DeAugustine. Usually that's going to be a one-timer. The puck was wobbling. He sent it backdoor to Santa Pass. Murray those are highlight NHL saves.
Right in front, Lemire's turnaround shot from point-blank range is wide. Murray might have gotten a piece of it. The first power play is over, and there'll be a minute 13 now of 5-on-4 time. Shorthanded effort there is blocked down from Tim Searles. And behind the net, it is going to be gobbled up by Bishop. He needs to find some help to get it away from the forecheck of Searles, who's applying solid pressure. 55 seconds left, 5-on-4 advantage for the Beacons. Sanapass has been out there a while, and he just sends it into the Beacons bench before taking a hit. And we'll have a whistle with 50 seconds left on the 2-minute liner.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can hear it at home. Fans didn't like that hit, thought it was a little bit high, and he's going to go on the bench. Sanapass is fine. I mean, he's a big guy. He can carry his weight, but definitely something that was noticed by the fans. And 50 seconds here left on the power play. Beacons have had some great opportunities, just haven't been able to answer Murray yet. And again, those two saves, once with the pad and once with the glove, were just highlight reel all through and through.
45 seconds left. Beacons remain on the power play as coming out of his crease is Faust. Gets it poked away by him on the aggressive forecheck from Gouveia, but the Beacons beat them back, and now here comes Daly with possession. Daly has to take the body and send it in as Casper came up on him. Now behind the net, here's Colucci back towards the point. Chakrin waits. D-to-D, blast from Miller denied, but the left leg of Jamie Murray, who continues to stand tall in the crease and sends it all the way down.
And just another great save. His reflexes are on, and the more and more the Beacons shoot, the more and more he's going to be in his zone. 15 seconds left here on the power play. Babson doing a great job on the forecheck.
Chakrin turns it over, and then it's sent back behind the net of Faust. Beacons turn it over again, and then eventually able to poke it away and get it to Colucci was Daly. The power play is over, and the second half of that 5-on-3 was sloppy after we got to a 5-on-4.
And you're hearing that Babson presence. Obviously, these two teams being so close. Babson getting a nice cheer from the crowd on that 5-on-3 penalty kill.
Beacons will head to Wellesley to take on the Beavers from Babson tomorrow as that rising shot taken by Casey is wobbled away, getting taken down in the attacking zone was Colucci as he was jockeying for possession with Phillips, and now the Beacons will see a whistle on UMass Boston, and it'll be Mike Miller yet again.
You know, and that's just it's such an unnecessary penalty. Again, behind the play, Miller's looking at his neck. It looks like he might have gotten clipped too, but his stick was right where it wasn't supposed to be. You get that stick down the skates, and you're just begging for a tripping call. He's calling for the trainer. He might be bleeding just a little bit. He's calling for Ed, but again, those behind the play penalties, John, are just so crucial. They're so
they're pointless.
There's no use for it in the game. And I don't want to say Miller, is egregious, but anytime that stick is in the skates, you're just asking for a tripping call, and there you see it, the ref was right on top of it.
And now the Beacons are asking for a whole lot of pain as that Seligman line is out there doing a good job of clearing it, and then chasing after it now is McGregor. Great move by McGregor to try to go around the defense. That was DePietro, but he's unable to, and now a cross-ice feed for Seligman is cleared out of the zone, and now here's a chance for a break, and unable to get clean wood on it was Finger from McGregor. Jeremy down there with David. Jeremy doing a good job keeping it down in the zone. Even better job of sending it behind Murray where DePietro will have to chase. And another great poke check on the forecheck by Jeremy Finger. Welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see that energy from him. He's fully capable of pinning the team down. You saw it just there.
Here's Seligman. He's fully capable. Ackerman is as well, as that one is rising and high. Blocked down in front. Ackerman sends it far side for Seligman. Takes the shove from Gallagher. Stays on his feet for Ackerman. Ackerman wide open in front. Off the crossbar, they score! Tommy Municiello. He came into this one with 4 in 14 games. He's now doubled it up to 6 in just 2 periods. It's 2-0 Babson right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
First save was great by Faust. Was able to get it with the blocker on that rush. It was a 4-on-2. Pass came across. Was able to make that save. What ensued after was how the goal was generated. It was a shot, rang off the pipe, and as Faust was trying to find that puck back door, Crawford just wasn't able to tie up his man, and that's how that puck ended up right on the stick. We got a 2-0 hockey game.
Remember, folks, Babson in second place in the NEHC, just 3 points back. A win today, they're down 1. A win tomorrow, they're in the driver's seat, and the Beacons are heading to the final month on their heels. Still plenty of time, not even halfway through, but bad news bears as the Beacons will go shorthanded again. Colin Larkin is going to go to the sin bin, and just as one ends, another begins. Beacons shorthanded on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, this is no good. Larkin's going to go for an elbow now, and here you have it. Babson with full momentum up 2-0 already in this period with a chance to make it 3, and quite honestly, if I'm the coaching staff at UMass, I'm really considering, if things continue to deteriorate, calling my timeout. Because you have an instance now where if you let this team go up 3-0, you have a huge hole to dig out with a team that quite honestly has a great goaltender in Murray.
You talk about the 5-on-3, what a momentum changer as Babson's able to nullify it, and then whiffing on that shot attempt from the point there was Donahue. Then he tries to get it down low, it's intercepted, and now Demchuk with possession. He's had a great game. Alex getting it over towards Daly. Daly can't maintain possession, Alex can't either, and now 3-on-2 the other way unless Demchuk gets back, he does. Motoring around the defense with an opportunity from the far side with possession is Searles, back to the point, and the blast from the point from Weidman is deflected wide. Backhanded by Donahue back towards the far side corner, rather the near side corner, and now here's Daly with possession, and Alba gets it out of harm's way. 1:20 to go in the 2-minute minor for elbowing. 13-15 to go, second period of play. Beacons down 2-0 to the Babson College Beavers. 1 versus 2 in the New England Hockey Conference. Good poke check there by Finger. He got it poked away, and then on a second effort, he's able to clear it in. Beacons penalty kill, or should I say the power play for the Beavers came in just 15%. They're 1 of 2 today, as this one is off the stick of Finger. Fighting for it with him is Mike Volman. And now an opportunity for Max Franklin. Franklin looking to go far side for Phillips. Phillips getting jockeyed by Gallagher, and good job by Garrett to clear it in. And the Beacons will get some fresh legs out on the ice. 40 seconds left in the advantage.
John, you mentioned it earlier, that 5-on-3, Beacons weren't able to score, and it's so amazing in hockey what momentum can do. Babson just totally reinvigorated after they kill off that 5-on-3, end up making a 2-0 game down the other end.
Phillips shot blocked down, Rayback, great save, Faust as he goes into the splits to make that one.
Great stop by Faust.
It needed that. Beacons need to kill off these next 20 seconds. Demchuk trying to apply the forecheck. He can't keep it in the attacking zone. Here comes Phillips with possession. Cross ice feed for Casey. Dan has Max Franklin in front. Deflection misses. And the Beacons with 7 seconds to go see Albie Daly clear this puck. And they will kill off that 2-minute minor to Colin Larkin.
There you have it. Solid kill by UMass. Now 11 minutes, just under 12 in the second. They really need to start generating something offensively and start testing Murray once again.
Here's Casey, far side, poked away from him, sending it all the way back in is Bishop. Larkin is back on the ice, coming off of the bench in the penalty box as Lemire lifts the arm and takes the hit there behind the net of DePieto. And now knocking that one down and sending it towards Bishop, who almost took the coach's heads off on the bench for the Beavers of Babson. 11:35 to go, second period of play. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Skudras. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And Matt, while we have a moment, we take a look at Tommy Municiello's 6th of the year assistant from Seligman. It has been a tough go of it here in the second period since that 5-on-3. Beacons have not been able to maintain any pressure, and they are not pressuring Jamie Murray nearly enough.
Both teams are playing well. Babson, without a question, has had the edge for the majority of this hockey game. And there you see puck deflected by DeAugustine. He'll check his stick to make sure everything's kosher. But Babson just really, it's close, but Babson has the advantage in more ways than UMass does, and it's reflective of the scoreboard. 2-0 hockey game. They've been able to capitalize on their instances, and quite honestly, they've had more opportunities in front of Faust than UMass has had in front of Murray.
It'll be that top scoring line for the Beavers as Ackerman has control, runs away from Gallagher, I should say, skates away as this one is shot from a bad angle, deflected back behind the net from the stick of Wagner, and now Lemire is able to maintain possession and try to move forward. This top line has not gotten nearly enough chances for their talent. 2-on-1, Lemire, back at it, front, and missing the net is Colin Larkin, our player to watch, ends up sending that one high and into the netting.
Hey, just shanked it, bottom line, just shanked it. Just didn't get all of it, didn't get it where he wanted it. But what's amazing is watching how fast this line can move and how accurate they can be with their passing. John, you saw how fast they entered that zone. The passing was really at a D1 level. That's D1 passing for those of you watching at home. Well, we had a chance to show you that replay. Larkin at the end just wasn't able to finish. He was trying to go far side top corner, just got under it too much, and unfortunately wasn't able to bury the puck.
Matt Lemire, transfer from Quinnipiac. He has been a godsend for Peter Belisle's club, and he made a great save there. Unfortunately, Colin Larkin unable to send it home past Jamie Murray. Here's Crawford from the point. Deflection, sneaks through, and just wide of the net of Murray. They beat him 5-hole, and they were unable to find the back of the net as Murray covers on the second chance.
Boy, he battles, doesn't he, John? I mean, it's amazing watching Murray with the talent and the athleticism that he has, and then that you factor in the ability to just battle. I mean, that puck, he had no idea, absolutely no idea. He had a clue that it was behind him, was able to just somehow move his backside around, twist himself around, was able to make not one, but 2 saves and cover that puck for a faceoff.
Say they may be the Beavers, but Jamie Murray plays like a bobcat back there. He is swift, always landing on his feet and always coming up with the big save. He did it again there, as now here's a chance for Babson to answer. Far side feed intended there for McGrath from McMorrow. Behind the net, here's Gouveia. Gouveia trying to find some help, but a good play there by Colucci as he tumbles down. Behind the net for Crawford. 10:35 to go, second period. We are just approaching the halfway point of this game, and with all the action that's gone on, it feels like we're approaching the end of this game, but we still got a whole half to go.
Without a doubt.
Beacon's trying to get something going, and with that opportunity, the stick breaks of Colucci. He has to go get a new one. Meanwhile, opportunity for Gouveia and company. His shot's blocked down by the knees of Chukrin, and then a swat from the forward. That was Finger, and now moving forward is Gabe with possession. Chukrin all alone in here. He's going to take it himself, fired into the catching mid of Murray, and like a first baseman catching it from his shortstop, he gobbles that one up for a face-off. 10:04 to go, second period of play, and Matt, Jamie Murray finally tested on that last shift before this one. You have to like what you see if you're Peter Belisle.
Oh, without a doubt. Finally, the offense is cooking, but the last thing you want is your forwards to get frustrated. You got to remind them, continue to pressure. There's no way that's going to be sustainable for Murray to continue to make those types of saves. Continue to keep the pressure, drive the net. You're going to get a greasy one and try to make this a one-goal game again.
Speaking of greasy ones, nice move to get around the defense there by Searles, and an opportunity from a tough angle by Devaney's waffle boarded away there by the netminder Faust. And now a chance here for Daly to move forward. Albie thought about the long stretch feed, but really no chance to get it to Lindsay, and then swatting it all the way in is Albie. He'll pitch in to try to keep this one in the zone, but it deflects on a perfect feed for Searles, and then his partner in crime, Municiello, is able to maintain possession and get it towards Tim, but evades his stick and backhanded in from Albie Daly. Gannon unable to settle it down. Haven't said his name much since the first period, as Drew takes the body there and levels the hit in on Dan Casey. Far side for Daly, sends it right in front, and a quick snap there from Lindsay is kicked away by Murray. Behind the net is Volman. Volman out there along with DePieto. Instead he tries to go forward towards the blue line, and the lumber is laid by Brett Mason, and still down is the forward, I believe. Can't see who that is now.
We can't see the numbers. This doesn't look good. He's down. They're going to send the training staff out. He's getting up there. It looks like it's going to be...
That'll be Rob Devaney, the sophomore from Reading, and he took a brick wall to the face in the form of Brett Mason.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. I mean, we don't want to speculate as to what this could be, but he took an absolute heavy hit from Mason. And this was similar to what we saw with Mike Miller. Is the player was just a little bit lower as Mason came in to make that hit. Devaney was just a little bit lower, not sure. The play happened right below where we are, so I didn't see if he had caught an edge or what was going on, but Mason came in full force and was able to hit him. Refs are talking about it. Obviously, when you have a situation like this, there's always a chance that Mason can get ejected here whenever a player's down like that. You have that. The refs are going to talk about it. Let's see. It looks like they're going to let him stay. I'm not sure. Belak's going to go talk to Coach Blyle, but in terms of the play,
we'll take a look at it as we cue it up in just a moment here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Matt, hockey's a contact sport. We'll take a look at the instant replay to see whether or not it was fully legal. It wasn't interference. He had control of the puck.
He had the puck, and here's the replay. And
for those watching out the replay, Devaney is up and skating off.
He's good. And see, if you have it there, you saw in the replay, the two things I'm seeing is, first of all, that's what you call a buddy pass. Anytime the defense throws it to the forward and that forward has to look behind them and take their eyes off what's in front of them to look back and make that pass, you're putting them in a really bad position as a defenseman. On top of that, once he does corral the puck, he almost tucks a little bit, and when you do that, you make yourself smaller. Mason's coming in full force. And it's just an unfortunate play. You do see it from time to time in hockey. I don't think Mason was trying to hurt the guy. He's trying to make a play on the puck. Regardless, it's a 5-minute major for Mason, and now the Beacons have a serious task in front of them.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for both as Devaney wobbles off the ice. He's on the bench. He's getting a looking from the trainer, but even more unfortunate perhaps in the short term for the Beacons as they now have a 5-minute major to kill. Behind the net, here's an opportunity for Babson to get things going. And keep in mind, folks, if Babson scores, the penalty does not subside. This is 5 minutes of shorthanded time, regardless of what happens for UMass Boston.
And, John, here's your hockey game. If you're Babson and you're able to score at least 2 or 3 here, this game's over. I don't see UMass coming back for more than 3.
See what happens as here's an opportunity right out in front. Trying to send that one towards the net was Matt Brazel, but a great job from UMass Boston's forwards as well as Andrew Crawford to get it out. So the Beacons will have to get the job done for the next 4:14, shorthanded as Finger applying the forecheck there on Donahue. Near side skating forward with possession is Franklin. Franklin cross ice pinching all the way in was the defender. That was DePietro. His shot comes wide of the net, and it'll be an easy clear here for Demchuk as he gets it towards the red line, where it's knocked down yet again by DePietro.
Demchuk's got to get that puck 200 feet.
And they have to get that one out of the zone. Demchuk just knocked it down and served it up on a tee for Volman. Luckily, he did make a good effort to get back and prevent anything, and then he gets it out of the zone.
And there's the effort, and there you have it. Nice play. Now, see, that's what I like to see. Demchuk knew he was trying to get that puck deep, and there you see it. Love what the teammates are doing there. He's getting a bunch of dabs on the bench because that's just hard work. He was moving his feet, trying to make a play and get that puck down. He knew he screwed up on the first one. It wasn't going to happen a second time. Moving his feet, trying to get that puck deep. And players recognize hard hustle like that. He's continuously getting bumps from his teammates saying, hey, nice work, way to draw the penalty, because what you have here now with 3:40 on the original major, this 2-minute minor is going to even up in either way at that clock.
Absolutely. It makes it a much easier dilemma for the Beacons as it's 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, and then only a minute 40, which is basically an abbreviated minor.
Exactly.
There's an opportunity for the Beacons to get back in the game as a blast from the point, and then a collision in the crease. We'll see what comes of this one. The blast came from Gallagher, the save from Murray, and the man in the crease, tumbling down like a tree in the forest, was Colin Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin went down pretty hard, but that was a great shot by Gallagher. He got all that one, tested Jamie Murray on the right side shoulder, and it looked like Murray had the puck for just a half second. That's what created the whistle. Unfortunately, that puck did drop out. It was loose in front, but there was enough time where it was held where the ref was able to blow the whistle and blow it dead.
For those wondering, Jamie Murray has 3 shutouts on the season, as this one is gobbled up from the face-off by Murray, looking for his 4th today.
And I'll continue to use that word shutout as much as I can. There is some superstition in hockey that if you use that word early, the goaltender tends to not get the shutout. So we will see. Hopefully that comes true tonight.
We'll see whether or not Murray can get his shutout as the Beacons trail 2-0 here with 7:23 to go in the second period. It is 4-on-4 action for 1:37. Beacons will then go shorthanded for about 1:40 after that. All of this coming on the heels of a Brett Mason 5-minute major, what I would believe is roughing.
Yeah, I believe it was.
And then the 2-minute tripping call on the visitors from Babson. So here's an opportunity for Bishop motoring in. He was a NEHC Player of the Week earlier on, as he will get an opportunity to serve it right on front. Bishop, he scores! Tyler Bishop, the man, the legend, gets it done for Tyler. It is goal number 6 on the season, point number 15. He cuts the deficit in half. It's 2-1.
I'm amazed in watching what Bishop is doing right now. When a guy is hot, I mean, that's not the right word. He's playing on another level right now. Did you see the composure in front of the net? Most defensemen would be so happy to just have the puck in that area. They would have fired it on net. It would have been a save by Murray. Bishop, on the other hand, was able to say, okay, I've got the puck. No one's around me. He delayed, puts it up where Murray couldn't get it. And I know Murray's complaining because that net was off, but it was clear as day. Murray was the one who pushed it out. That's a good goal.
I got chills on that one. What a beautiful play, unassisted by Tyler Bishop, as UMass Boston has cut the deficit in half, 2-1. And I got to give credit where credit is due, as coming on in here is Colucci, and give it to number 13, Alex Demchuk. He's had a heck of a game and a heck of a play, evened up things, and we're still 4-on-4 here in the second.
He's really played well, and it's amazing to watch the kid continue to do what he's doing, Demchuk and Bishop as well. Both players playing really well tonight.
The Calgary native, a senior from Alberta, Canada, didn't get a point on that one, but he had a big effort in keying the goal. Beacons trailing still 2-1. Got to keep their composure here as they maintain 4-on-4 action with possession near side. That is Ackerman. Ackerman gets the body of Chukrin, and a rude awakening for number 9 in green as he loses possession in the corner. It's careening all the way around Faust end boards as this one is taken by DeAugustine, who finds Chukrin, who's able to send it forward for DC Niner. Cross ice feed for DeAugustine. He's unable to knock this one down. 15 seconds left in the 2-minute minor for tripping. Beacons will go shorthanded for 1:40 after that. Interesting strategy for UMass Boston. We'll see. Is now the chance now for the Babson Beavers. Ooh, bad turnover there in the attacking zone because the Beacons can now clear.
And the reason that goal is so huge is now being made, obviously, other than the fact that you no longer have a 0 on the scoreboard, it's a 1-goal hockey game, and like you mentioned, makes this penalty kill a lot more easier if you're UMass. You don't have to risk as much.
Certainly does. As knocking this one down is Volman. Aggressive play from Daly to go all the way into the attacking zone. Meanwhile, here in the defensive zone for UMass Boston, Crawford will defer for Bishop, who swats it all the way around, but not out. Kept in smartly there. D-to-D, opportunity to dump it down by Volman. And now Volman has to keep it in the zone towards the near side dot. Cross-ice feed and whiffing on a one-timer there was Phillips. He had a point-blank net. Meanwhile, right out in front, deflected by Bishop on the shot from Franklin, coming from the feed from Casey. This power play is getting chances as that one sails high and wide from Volman. Backhand feed attempt from Phillips. Instead, he defers back to the top of the key for DePieto. Sent all the way down, right in front. Great save made on the shot from Franklin by Billy Faust.
That is such a key whistle there, because I'll tell you what, that penalty kill was totally collapsed. They had no idea how to regain their composure. Babson just continued to move the puck extremely quick, and it makes it so hard on the PK when you don't have a chance to regroup. And that save and that whistle by Faust is not only imperative from the pressure that was being sustained, but also to give yourself a line change.
4:41 to go, second period of play. Beacons have narrowed their deficit from 2-0 to 2-1 on a goal, and it was a beautiful one by Tyler Bishop. Chance from the point here for Donahue. DD feed, shots wide of the net. That one coming from the stick of Weidman. Still 27 seconds to go on the major penalty to Mason. There's a shot knocked down in front, good stick, and an active one by Chukrin as he continues to fight for possession. Getting taken down there was Seligman, and the Beacons, and that's who else? Alex Demchuk all alone, and it's deflected high and wide by Weidman. I would hope that was deflected. Beacons would maintain possession in the attacking zone.
Yeah, definitely deflected by Weidman, and there you see Demchuk with those Canadian hands. They do have silky hands up there, huh? They love playing with the puck. You saw that shiftiness, was able to just curl and drag right around and was able to go in on that rush, and Weidman, of course, was able to deflect that puck up into the netting. Demchuk's upset with himself. He knew he had a grade A opportunity.
UMass Boston trailing 2-1, 10 seconds to go in the major penalty to Mason. Larkin doing a good job of keeping that behind the net. Lemire's unable to knock it down. Good poke there made by Volman, and now moving forward. Last chance for Romance to try to maintain momentum for the Babson Beavers right out in front. It's poked away, and now Lemire with the Beacons even on up. We'll see DeAugustine streak out of the bench. Unfortunately for him, he's unable to catch up to a deflected feed from Matt. And now motoring the other way with possession is Devaney. He was on the ice moments ago. Now he's back on his skates and back in the shot column as he gets a nice cheer from the Babson fans in attendance.
Yeah, it's just good to see him on the ice, obviously. Taking that big hit earlier, and obviously got the clearance from the training staff that he was okay. Nice shot on goal, and it's good to see the fans take note of it. Gave him a little bit of extra clap.
Absolutely. 3:47 to go, second period of play. Right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, along with Matt Meisenbacher. I am John Skudras. Part of a doubleheader this weekend of hockey action for the UMass Boston Beacons. See a big face-off here for Colin Larkin. He's got that top line out there. Lemire and DeAugustine. Carter and I believe Bishop are the defenders. It's Mason now, fresh off the penalty that he ended up spending probably a solid 10 minutes in the penalty box.
Without a doubt.
So he's plenty rested as this one is deflected down off the shot attempt there. DeAugustine getting his stick in the lane of the shot. Meanwhile, poke check from Larkin is able to allow Lemire to take possession. He gets hooked pretty badly, no call. And then a collision there in the Beacon zone by Larkin. And it allows this one to come all the way back for Faust. Mason backhand feed, D-to-D for Carter. He tries to backhand it back towards Mason, and now Brett has to look for DeAugustine. Can't get out of the zone. Weidman keeps it in. Weidman's blocked down. Casper has possession. He sends it off the near side boards. Back behind the net to be taken there by McMorrow. Back to the point for Weidman, and he just defers all the way back around, but Carter can't chase it down. McMorrow can. And now here is McMorrow trying to do it all himself. His shot deflected away with the waffle board by Faust. Blast from the top of the point. And that one is fisted away from Faust. And where is the momentum the Beacons would have built on that penalty kill? And now this one is out of play with 2:52 to go.
Well, take a wild guess who Blau's going to throw out after this.
It's going to be a yellow line, yep.
Every time that the Beacons can't or fall off that momentum, he's going to put the yellow line out there because he relies on them so many times to regain that momentum that they had. And you mentioned it. They had everything going down the other end, a few bad plays, a few turnovers, and now Babson probably added another 4 or 5 shots to their shot total. Here's the yellow line for UMass. We'll see what they're able to do.
Daly can't win the face-off. Chance for Franklin. His point-blank shot from a short side angle is denied by Faust and sent out of harm's way. Daly's unable to knock it down. Now Franklin gets the feed there from Casey. Franklin trying to go around Shuckran. He can. Max Franklin behind the net looking back for Casey. Instead it evades his stick and is able to be taken forward by Lindsay. Lindsay going between the trees. He sends this one in. It's blocked down on a good play by Donahue. Behind the net getting possession is Daly. Daly looking for assistance. He's got Lindsay. Lindsay should send it back to Crawford if he can. He'll try to do so and does. Andrew, TD, blast from Shuckran, deflected, and that one knuckled in on the right leg of Murray, but he denies with the pad.
Tell you what, that puck was bouncing in front, had a chance of going in. Nice save by Murray.
Crawford blasts it back in. Coming on in is Lindsay. He's backhanded right in front, and in the lane of that pass was Daly, but he couldn't get a stick on it with 2 minutes to go.
Good shift by Daly and Lindsay there particularly. I saw them extremely fast on the puck. They were physical. Both took a couple hits to make plays. And there you see a little bit of that momentum coming back their way.
By the way, the yellow line.
Well, yeah, they make me look good. That's why I can throw it to them all the time. But here you see Blyle's now going to throw that top line out there. DeAugustine's going to take the draw. He's going to have Larkin. He's going to have Lemire just a few steps. Lemire's going to take a few steps up towards the blue line, try and get an angle towards the net.
Face-off attempt from DeAugustine. He tries to poke it away. They're unable to get it. Now getting it out of harm's way is Matt Brazel. He's got possession as he sends it down for Bill Seligman to chase after. Gallagher keeps it away from the centerman from Hingham, Matt Brazel. And now Seligman backhands it into the netting. This will come out of the Beacon zone into neutral territory.
Puck was rolling on DeAugustine. He's talking to Larkin there because he was trying to make a play, a little bit of a bump pass where you don't really put a lot of effort to it. You just kind of guide the puck to his winger. He was saying, hey, apologize, couldn't get it to you. The puck was rolling.
From just outside UMass Boston's defensive zone, Colin Larkin cannot win the faceoff. It's sent back in by Brazel, and chasing after this one behind the net and getting possession before sending it forward there was Mason. Far side, here's Frankie DeAugustine, the hottest player in Beacon's blue, as that one an opportunity for a backhander from Larkin off the edge of his stick. Lemire sends it right into the near side circle where DeAugustine waits. Back to the point. Mason's got a nice shot, deflected. Oh, and that one evades the stick of Lemire from the far side. That one off the end boards. Lemire backhanded in front and kicking that one off the net again is Jamie Murray, and the Beacons know this one has to stay in the offensive zone.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, here's the problem we're having is this net has come off at least 3 times that we've seen from up here. And you see Lemire's talking to the ref saying, hey, listen, every time we get momentum, this net's coming off, and it's an automatic whistle unless that puck is going directly in the net. Murray's going to try to make a case that it's incidental, but starting to see a little bit of a pattern here, John, that when UMass is getting some pressure, you know, I don't want to accuse Murray of anything, but obviously anytime that net comes off, you're going to get some questions, and we'll see if that pattern continues.
It's a bold strategy, Matt. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Is that a dodgeball quote?
It is. Beacon's trying to win the face-off. DC Niner gets a fistful of stick, or rather a faceful of it. Meanwhile, this shot attempt from Colucci is deflected wide of the net by Murray. Tumbling down and laying on the puck is one of the Beavers. That's going to be Charlie Ackerman, and he'll get a whistle out of it with 61 seconds to go.
And Bly's upset about something, not quite sure what. He might have seen something going on behind the play. I didn't see it myself, but he's yelling at Belak, asking him for some sort of explanation, and we'll continue our broadcast here on ESPN 8, The Ocho.
Right you are, sir, as the UMass Boston Beacons trying to get something going in the attacking zone. Behind the net, the faceoff's won by Babson. Good pinch in by Finger, as now keeping it in is Gannon. Gannon and Finger 2-on-2, but they can't keep possession. Good poke check there from Carter. Carter swats it out of thin air, keeps it in. Here's a chance. Finger, backhand, Colucci gets tripped up, and a penalty coming up on the visiting Babson College Beavers. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's keep the party, as this one is staying in the attacking zone. Extra attacker on, as that one is blocked down, and we will get a whistle with 32.9 to go. So a tripping penalty. DC Niner, Derek Colucci drawing it, and with 32.9 left, Beacons keep that momentum.
Yeah, he went down hard too. He's not laboring off the ice, but I think it's a little bit uncomfortable for him. That stick was well tangled in his feet. He went down without any type of cushion. Training staff's going to check on him real quick, but he's fine. He's a tough kid, Colucci is, and a nice job to draw that penalty. Great opportunity here. So with 32 seconds left in the second period, going in, the Beacons would love to tie up this hockey game headed into the third. Unfortunately, lose the draw, and that's going to go all the way down.
So plenty of time. Beacons will have the 2-minute power play, so they'll have about a minute and a half left in this third period when it begins. Here's Santa-Pass. Santa-Pass able to find Lemire. 3-on-2 over the zone. Great move between the legs by Lemire. All the way around. He tries to center it for Larkin, but no room there. Good play by Volman. Here's Lemire. 10 seconds left. Tried to center it up for Santa-Pass. Instead, it's Bishop from the point. His blast deflected. Rebound behind the net. Oh, it does not go in. What a great effort by Michael Phillips to clear, as the junior from Richmond Heights, Ohio, is a large role in keeping this a 2-1 game. So we are through 40 minutes here from Clark Athletic Center, and this game has turned out to be everything we could have imagined it would be. High-flying action, penalties left and right, some physical nature as well from Mike Miller and Brett Mason, and UMass Boston still in the game with a minute 28 of power play time when we begin the third period.
Yep, a great opportunity at the end of the period and going to be a great opportunity in the third. And you see it here. The Babson players, a lot of them are hunched over as they're taking. They were very tired. You don't get much closer than you can. At the end of that period, you saw that puck was bouncing very close to the goal line, could have easily gone in. Unfortunately for UMass, didn't do so. And here you have it, 2-1 hockey game headed into the third period, and we're going to have quite a period of hockey left to determine the winner of this hockey game. But right now, we're going to send it down to the bench for an interview with Coach Blyle.
Coach, Tyler Bishop, down 2-0. He scores a goal coming off a hat trick. Been huge for you lately. What does he really give to this offense and kind of pick you guys up?
Yeah, no, that was a big time play. Great pass by Larkin there to get us back in the hockey game. Yeah, he's been playing pretty good. You know, we've got to get, when your defenseman scoring that much, we got to get some production from our forwards. But that was a hell of a play by Bish for sure.
Very heated second period, a lot of penalties. How do you keep on the better side of it and have the penalties go your way instead of their way?
Well, we can't retaliate. You know, we retaliated on one and they score. You know, that's what's going to happen. When you retaliate, they're going to score. A hard penalty, usually you kill that one off.
Hey, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Seth.
Thanks for that, Coach. And we're going to take some highlights here. We got some great highlights from Johnson and Wales that we're going to send your way here on BBN.
Welcome back into the broadcasting booth. I am John Skudris. The UMass Boston Beacons narrowing their deficit that grew into 2 in that second period. We take a look at the second period statistics here. UMass Boston, after one, trailed 1-0 on the 5th goal of the season from forward Tommy Municiello. However, Municiello's second goal was the dagger, or at least we thought it would be, on the power play. His 6th of the year from Ackerman and DePietro. That was a big goal with 5:49 left in the second period to make it 2-0. UMass Boston then was able to bounce back. An even strength blast from Tyler Bishop. It turns out Colin Larkin did get the assist on that. For Tyler, it's his 6th. For Colin, his 15th assist. And UMass Boston was able to take the reins in the second half of the second period as they extended what has been a very good season for second periods. The Beacons have played very good in the second period this year, and hopefully they continue to play well in the second half of games as we continue along here late in 2015-16. Let's take a look now around Beaconville, at a look at what's going on for the women's hockey team as they are at New England College. It's 2-1 right now. The Beacons out in front of NEC. That'll be a big win for them as they continue along what has been a trying but still successful 2015-16 campaign. Stay tuned tomorrow for a couple of road matches for the basketball teams as the women and men both travel to Eastern Connecticut State to take them on. The women's game starts at 1, the men's at 3, and of course, both men's and women's hockey is on the air tomorrow as we'll have that matchup against Babson right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network at 4 p.m. from Wellesley, Massachusetts. We take a look now at why not, women's hockey highlights. Let's look at some of the action from them as I just gave you the cue. They're up 2-1. Let's look at their victory 2-0 over Connecticut College right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back into the broadcasting booth for the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Skudris. Let's take a look at an NEHC scoreboard update as all the action around the New England Hockey Conference continues this weekend. New England College and Castleton University tied up at 2 after 2 as deuces remain wild from Castleton. University New England is tied up with the Cadets of Norwich 3-3 after 2. And it's 6-3 after 2 periods. I hope you took the over in the over-under between Southern Maine and St. Michael's, as 9 goals already scored in 40 minutes of play in that one. And 3 field goals for those two teams has that one rising in the scores of the New England Hockey Conference. As always, the New England Hockey Conference out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Kaler Sales, LLC, a family-focused business focused on bringing you the best prices on all of your logging equipment. If you're a lumberjack, stay tuned for Kaler Sales, LLC. Or if you're just cutting down some trees for fun. I know I like to do that on my weekends. Sunday afternoon, a little tree cutting is always a nice way to relax after a tough week of work. Let's take a look now at the highlights. In fact, we're going to go to a break before we do, but let's look ahead to see what's coming up for UMass Boston as the Beacons have a big matchup tomorrow against Babson. Regardless of what happens in this one, someone's going to have to win that one, and if the Beacons lose tonight, they're desperately going to have to win 24 hours from now. They'll then have some days off before taking on Skidmore College and Castleton University next weekend for what should continue to be a storybook season for Peter Belisle's club. We're going to kick to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have highlights of that second period of play and the exciting conclusion of this matchup between the UMass Boston Beacons and the Babson College Beavers right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
I am John Skudras here back in the broadcasting booth. Matt Meisenbacher will rejoin me for the third period of play, but for now let's take a look at the highlights of an exciting second period.
And then once they drop that puck at center ice, it's over.
Early on, it was Billy Faust regaining some composure after a tough first period to get the allowed that first period goal and make a nice save, but as always, Jamie Murray with a trifecta Garrison, but the saves on the point, save possession. Then you got coming up a blast here as Tyler Bishop's going to go down low for an opportunity on the cross-ice feed. The point-blank shot from Colin Larkin denied by Murray, and then finally on that 5-on-3 power play, the Beacons just unable to get anything done. Garrison denied by the lateral quickness of Jamie Murray. You see the big hit coming up here for Babson, and it was something that allowed Babson to maintain momentum and end up scoring a goal. Unfortunately, the Beacons falling behind 2-0 on the second goal of the game by Tommy Minichiello. Great save. The Beacons really 2-0. It was up to Billy Faust and company to keep it close. And after a beautiful save there by Murray on a shot that was rising from Larkin, you saw Crawford with a deflection in front and a chance for McGregor to tip that one in, but Murray is getting again, and then there's the big hit from Mason that resulted in a 5-minute major penalty. Earlier on, the Beacons will get an opportunity to score early on, but then there's Tyler Bishop getting things done for Tyler. His fifth goal of the season, his first of the ballgame, and the Beacons have cut the deficit in half.
I'm just, John, I'm amazed
on that one, and the Beacons end up maintaining that 2-1 lead despite going short-handed. Thanks to a beautiful play in net by Billy Faust. Great save with the right leg there from the net raider, and then again to conclude the highlights and that second period. Billy Faust, too good for the Babson College Beavers late in that second period. As I'm rejoined by Matt Meisenbacher here on the intermission report. Matt, we just saw the highlights. We talked a little bit about the great goal from Tyler Bishop. Beacons are getting outshot 30-23, which is a bit surprising because Babson is a team that really the Beacons should be able to man up offensively against. But late in that period, we saw the momentum shift. We saw the Beacons regain some of it, and with 88 seconds left on the power play, this is a golden opportunity to tie this game.
Oh, so true there, John. And that goal is just so big by Bishop because obviously, other than the fact that instead of down 2, you're down 1, you were able to just get a lot of that momentum back. That major by Brett Mason was just could have been really crushing. Not only do you get a goal off of it, but you really have something generated here going into the third period. You mentioned a minute 28 on this power play. Rather than having to fight and claw your way back the entire period, if you can bury one here, you got an even hockey game. On top of that, you're at home. On top of that, you got momentum. So UMass is really just in the driver's seat right now, although the scoreboard says otherwise. They just need to find a way to bury pucks, and they've done a good job testing Murray. They need to continue to do so.
Yeah, and Matt, I didn't get a chance to say this before the game as we were a bit pressed for time, but during this 0-2-1 run that the visiting Beavers have been on, they have outshot their opponents 113-71 and have not won a game. Right now they're outshooting the Beacons 30-23, but the game is very much still up for grabs.
Exactly, and we've seen that tendency tonight because Babson is just shooting from anywhere and everywhere. They have thrown the puck. As soon as they cross that blue line, they're looking to make one pass, maybe, and shoot the puck. If not, just fire it on net. And that's why you see those shot totals. They're not necessarily quality opportunities. They're just trying to take as many as they can, and it becomes a numbers game at that point.
And that's obviously a strategy that's worked for them in the past. They've won big games. They've beaten the Beacons in big games, but you've lost 2 out of your last 3. You haven't won. At what point do you switch that up and try to get not only quantity of shot, but quality?
Well, without a doubt. I think you see it here, obviously 2-1 in the third period, and you know you're doing a lot of things right, but in the back of your head as a team, you know what you just said. 2 out of 3, you're playing at a away barn, and you're playing against a UMass team that's in first place. These are all things that you try not to think about, but they creep in, they linger, and like you said, at some point you got to say, all right, well, we've tested them now we got to find the areas that are best suited for us scoring a goal.
Absolutely, as the 2 teams are back on the ice here at Clark Athletic Center Ice Arena, and we are set for some hockey as the opening faceoff of this third period should be dropped very shortly by these referees. Beacons will send out what looks like the power play here, as it'll be Lemire, Santa-Pass, and Larkin, along with the Augustine, and the only blue liner is the best blue liner when it comes to offensive prowess. That's Tyler Bishop. So the Beacons with a scorer's punch out there right now. We'll see how it pays off for them through the final 20. UMass Boston down 2-1 on the power play for the next 88 seconds. Face-off is won by Lemire, and the Beacons move forward with Tyler Bishop. That one's waffle-boarded away by Murray. Santa-Pass chases after it along with Volman, and Volman turns it over as coming in on a good forecheck there was number 22, Frankie DeAugustine. DeAugustine finds Lemire near side wall. Lemire center all the way across, and Larkin had it on his stick and couldn't get it into the net.
Great pass by Lemire.
Oh, what a great pass, and unfortunately Larkin couldn't pull the trigger. Bishop can, but that one's blocked down in front. Don't think it ever made it through. That one definitely didn't, and unfortunately it's going to get out of the zone. And with 19:23 to go and 50 seconds left on the power play, Beacons regroup. Lemire drops it down for Santa-Pass. Santa-Pass using that big body. Center in front, they go! UMass Boston has tied the game, and it looks like Matt Lemire with Frankie DeAugustine. Who else? That guy's been hotter than the sun here in 2016. Number 22 in white is number 1 in your hearts. He ties it up. Deuces are wild. 22 makes it 2-2.
Love it. Frankie DeAugustine, and you know what I love even more? He actually sellied this time. Usually from Frank, he's pretty nonchalant about it. Just kind of skates over, thanks his teammates. He knows how big a goal that is. Ties it up 2-2 here. Less than a minute into the period, and now you have it. John, this is what we talked about. Great play by DeAugustine to finish that puck, but now you have a UMass team on home ice with full momentum, with a full period to play, and you got a tie hockey game at 2-2.
The ice is certainly tilted. UMass Boston trying to get something going to take the lead as they score on the power play. One of the best power plays in D3 hockey, as Gabe Shuckran's shot from the point is knocked down and saved by Murray.
And you see it tonight, John. The betting odds would have probably DeAugustine and Bishop as your fan favorites, and sure enough, they come through tonight. Both guys have scored so far.
Frankie DeAugustine continues his scorching hot play. He now, well, I'll tell you folks, he now has 7 goals in 4 games in 2016, and this one's not even over. 11 points to along with that, as the Beacons see Derek Colucci getting involved in the action in the attacking zone, but maybe something awoke in the gut of these Beavers as they will try to take things, and that was offsides. Just unable to get past was Rob Devaney. 18:42 to go, second period of play, along with Matt Meisenbacher on John Skudras on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. A game that began with Tommy Municiello scoring back-to-back goals for the Beavers to take a 2-0 lead, but the Beacon Stars have bounced back, and with plenty of time left, it's a whole new hockey game, 2-2 from UMass Boston. Mason, who was involved in a key play, I would say, in this game, the hit on Rob Devaney, that resulted in a 5-minute major. Finger pinching in. He had a chance all alone, but unable to corral the puck was Lindsay. He's out there along with Finger and Albie Daly. As a good hit there by Lindsay allows him to get it to Daly, and a shot. Oh, that one almost snuck through on the blocker side of Murray, but he got just enough of it to deflect it wide.
You said it, John, just enough. That puck was labeled bottom corner. Murray got enough of it. We talked about the reflexes. Nice blocker save to stop Daly from scoring.
Donahue fists this one all the way down. Chasing after it is Gallagher. He's harassed there by Brazel. Gallagher tumbles down behind the net. Good job by Finger to keep it away, as this one is pushed forward now on a good play by DiPietro. Chance now for Brazel. Deflection in front, but not getting enough of it there was number 24, Matt McMorrow. Behind the net, Lindsay is able to find Gallagher. Garrett is chasing after it and does get it out of the zone. Deflected by Finger towards Daly. And now Albie will go for a line change as the Beans will get fresh legs. Pinching in here and an opportunity for McGrath. McGrath gets it poked away. Good play made there by Lindsay, or excuse me, by McGregor. And now here is a chance for Gannon, and his shot is deflected wide by the leg of Jamie Murray.
John, that's the second blocker save that I saw Murray look a little bit unsure about. If I'm UMass, I'm going to continue to pepper that side.
Drew Gannon getting some opportunities offensively there, unable to sneak it by the star goalie for these Beavers of Babson College. Far side here, here's Franklin. Franklin sends it in front, a deflection chance for Michael Phillips, but it is gobbled up by Faust for the faceoff.
And I'll tell you what, Faust has had a pretty light go. He had a few flurries there in the second period, and then obviously to start the third, we haven't seen much of him. He's going to be called upon at least 2 or 3 more times to come up with some big saves on top of the other routine stuff. Expect him to come up large.
Sent all the way to the far side corner off the face-off win by Babson. Sent right under the slot. A great save with the waffle board by Faust, as that one came at a mile a minute from the stick of Dan Casey. Larkin trying to get it out of the zone by way of DeAugustine, getting hooked there and then getting taken down with Chucker, and he gets it all the way in. Larkin chases. He's down there with Casper. The friendly defenseman is able to get it all the way up towards the blue line, and eventually the Beacons see this one trickle towards the skates and the stick of Andrew Crawford. Larkin unable to settle it down. It's poked away from him by Phillip, who as he heads to a bench. Chucker in D2D for Crawford, 16 and a half to go. DeAugustine unable to settle that one down, but good forward check. Applying pressure, he's able to get it to Larkin. Frankie pokes it, but no one was home, as the Beacons were going for a partial line change. As behind the net, here's DeAugustine. Centers it right on front. Larkin blocked down in front, as Casper taking the puck to the Tookus, as then a backhand by Lemire results in a face-off as it's gobbled up by Murray. Exactly 4 minutes gone through. It feels like 40 with how much momentum and action has been going on.
Yeah, this pace has been like this for the majority of the game. You mentioned Casper. What a block in front. He might have just saved the goal. Murray was already committed to that shot. Not sure where Larkin was trying to go, because by the time it was released, like you said, it was in the rump of Casper. A nice block shot in the slot.
There's a blast from Gallagher, and that one had some mustard on it, but gobbled up by the Butterfly. Possession by Murray with 15:55 to go. Nice shot from Gallagher from the point.
Yeah, and it's just amazing what a faceoff can do. You see that clean win. Gallagher's able to just step into that one, hammer it, forcing Murray to make a nice save, and a lot of times you can get a rebound off an opportunity like that.
It looks like Colucci jockeying for possession with Tim Searles, and Tim's going to get tossed, so a break for the Beacons perhaps. Colucci initially won the faceoff but got it poked away, and now the Beacons have to regroup back. Chance, shot, score! Tim Searles from Rob Devaney off the ice on the board for Devaney, and for Tim Searles, his 5th of the season in his 16th game, the Chesapeake, Virginia native makes it 3-2 Beavers.
Yeah, Searles with speed. He was able to beat Miller. Miller had the cover on the blue line. It started off the draw by Colucci. He initially had won it, but then lost it. Searles was able to fly up the side. Miller was covering at the D point, just didn't have enough to capture Searles on the way in. He had at least a stride and a half on him. Faust didn't get the save either. Now you have a 3-2 hockey game. Plenty of time left for both squads, but again, these leads are so crucial. We have a quick whistle here, and you saw the same thing, John. Just too much speed coming out of the zone for Babson. UMass wasn't able to recover.
Yeah, unfortunately, the faceoff was won to the right of Colucci, where nobody was manning. At least no one for UMass Boston.
And what he was trying to do, Colucci's trying to win that back behind him on the forehand. He's not trying to obviously put it in no man's land, and just wasn't able to get enough of that puck. Unfortunately for him, Babson was able to transition that down and create a 2-on-1 off of it.
Still plenty of time, 15 and a half to go. Beacons now trailing by 1 yet again. There's an opportunity to move forward for McGregor. 3-on-3, McGregor for Gannon. Gannon can't catch up to that feed. He'll come down and get it on the second chance, deflected towards McGregor. McGregor should look towards Bishop. Instead, he does it himself. Backhand and it falls, and a big save by Murray from point-blank backhand range from Demchuk.
Nice shot by Demchuk on the backhand, forcing Miller to make another reaction save.
Cross-ice feed, moving forward with it now is Ackerman. Seligman chasing after the dump feed from Charlie Ackerman as Seligman unable to catch up to that one. And now Daly takes a big hit, no call. Looked like interference to me. Nonetheless, here's Daly with possession. 2-on-2. Daly can't find Lindsay on the initial opportunity. Now Zach behind the net sees that one poked away. Finger back towards the point for Crawford. Sends it back behind, trying to one-touch it towards the slot was Lindsay. But no one home for the Beacons as it's slapped all the way in by Chuckred.
The Beacons are still off sides. Unfortunately, had a nice forecheck going there, but stepped in a little bit too early, had to regroup.
Here is Gabe Chuckred out there along with Andrew Crawford, who gets the D-to-D feed and stretches it forward for Finger. 14:20 to go. Fingers pass off the end boards, careens over towards Lindsay. Crawford had a man bearing down on him. That was Franklin, and now it's 3-on-2 the other way. Casey gets a chance, and then McMorrow has ended up taken off the puck by Chuckred, who ends up evading the oncoming checker and set up a potential 4-on-3 the other way. Here's Daly, drops it for Chuckred, and a good defense catching up to that one by McMorrow prevents any chance for a shot.
Yeah, McMorrow did a great job getting back there to disrupt that rush.
Great poke check by UMass Boston, but no one was home in the slot. That was a good effort again by Chuckred, who will head to the bench. He didn't score any points there, but he had a nice shift nonetheless.
John, this has turned out to be a heck of a hockey game.
It certainly is, and we've got a whole nother one tomorrow as the Beacons take on Babson from Wellesley. Here's a chance for Lemire to go cross ice. He sends it all the way to Gallagher. Gallagher with possession, sends it right out in front for Frankie, but the Augustine couldn't find the puck between his legs. And now this one cleared. Beacons continuing to press as this is a blast off the glove. Rebound behind Faust, in front of Faust. No one can see it before eventually Larkin is able to get it to Frankie. The Augustine chips it off the sideboards, backhanded around the end boards by Voltman. And now this one sent out of harm's way to be knocked down and possessed by Tyler Bishop. We're 7 minutes into this third period and what has become a manic and adventurous hockey game. This one behind the net. Larkin taking the body as this one sent all the way around, and chasing forward is Rob Devaney. Devaney, who was knocked on the ice in the second period by Mason, and an opportunity to motor around the net by Searles, who scored moments ago, but it's denied on a good play by Larkin. Turnover for Devaney. He finds Searles. Searles looking cross ice for Municiello, who's looking for a hat trick, by the way. His first career hat trick, if he gets it. And with 12 and a half to go, the teams will regroup. Good play from Santa Paz. He's got huge size advantage there on Tim Searles, about 7 inches. Nonetheless, here's Searles able to maintain the puck behind the net. Bishop fighting for it along with Santa Paz, Colucci, and Carter. And eventually it'll be the smallest guy there, Derek Colucci, who emerges from the pile with the puck. And whiffing on that one and allowing Mike Miller to chase after it was number 26, Jared Weidman. Josh Casper has it. Now he was able to find Tommy Municiello. His attempt to dump it all the way down is knocked down. Santa Paz 2-on-4. The Beacons are outnumbered. And Garrison just sends it far side off of the end boards. Crawford, one-time blast from the feed from the board, and that one is high and wide. And as Weidman and Santa Paz jockey, they're both standing tall at 6'3" and 6'4" respectively. And now Chuckred just sends it in on Murray, makes the catch. Steerike one right down the middle, and with 11:31 to go, it remains 3-2 Babson on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Well, this is the equivalent of two fighters just absolutely going toe-to-toe in the ring. I mean, it really has that feel. Both teams are getting their opportunities, taking full advantage of them. You see there, UMass was a couple great opportunities on Murray, comes down the other end, a few opportunities on Faust. Both goaltenders playing well, but with a 3-2 game, 11 minutes left, we got a lot more action coming your way.
11:27 to go. Beacons down 3-2. They need another goal to tie this up again. This should be icing, and is, as Gallagher presses the R trigger, the turbo button, for those who have played the NHL games. I'm sure all of us up here have. Maybe not at home. If you haven't, you should. It's a fun game.
It is, no doubt. Everyone should go out and buy it.
Did you guys play it all on the team in your spare time?
All the time. All the time, every chance. We still do.
We'll see if the Beacons can get things going like they used to do in the days of Matt Meisenbacher. Kept that bench warm for a while there, Matt, didn't you?
I appreciate it, John. Thanks for letting the fans know.
Oh, I'm kidding. As this one sent cross crease, and an opportunity for the Beavers to take a 2-goal lead. Hey, at least you were on the bench. I demand it from up here. UMass Boston trying to get something going, down 3-2. Great job, Bishop deflected off the post Oh, Bishop sent that one in for Demchuk, and the man who's been the star off of the scoreboard today almost got on it.
I'll tell you what, you can't deflect a puck better than that. You see Demchuk in front of the net there. Great shot, and Bishop put enough on it, just enough where it had enough steam to be deflected by Demchuk. He just missed it off the pipe. Wasn't able to bury it home. He's still shaking his head. He can't believe that one didn't go in.
That was as close as it can come. You talk about a close shave. My goodness, Jamie Murray almost saw the third goal let in. Meanwhile, this one gets out of harm's way for the Beacons. Gannon applying the pressure, and now Tyler Bishop will motor forward, tries to stretch it for Lindsay, and does. Nice play as Lindsay will have to chase after it and gets there. Beacons went on a change though, so Zach had no help. Still maintains possession. Eventually he loses it, and the Beacons D was staying back just in case there was a stretch feed out of the zone. Here's Bishop. He's all alone out there. He drops it back, and a give and go. Great feed. Bishop sends it high and wide.
Another pipe. That one hit the pipe too, John.
Oh my goodness. The Beacons are coming as close as you can be to tying this one up without actually getting on the scoreboard. Behind the net, here's Daly. Backhand feed looking for a little help in the form of Finger. Albie is able to get it past him over to Lindsay, but unfortunately it's taken out of harm's way by McMorrow. 2-on-1 Beacons, and then McMorrow trips a Beacon, but no call, and that is that is Gabe Chukrin, as I got to catch my breath. Gabe all the way on the far side of the ice, gets it poked away. Tough play there, but a good one by Casper. And now Lindsay loses possession, but right to Finger. Finger gets it poked away. Penalty coming on up, and the Beacons, down by a goal, will head to the power play yet again.
Someone's getting called for a slash. It almost looked like he called Murray. Obviously, I don't think that's the case. No, instead, I think it's going to be Weidman. I think Weidman's going to go for a slash here. I could be wrong, actually. Let me double check on that. I saw the 6. Instead of 2-6, it's actually Casper who's going to go for a slash. And here you have it, 9:41 in the third. Power play for UMass, and obviously time is not in their favor, being down by 1 goal. Really need to tie this hockey game up and continue to do the things that they've been doing to be successful.
UMass Boston's Matt Lemire will take the face-off. He's out there with DeAugustine, Santapass, Bishop, and Larkin as UMass Boston is able to win it. DeAugustine, no, defers towards Bishop. He kept it in the zone. Gets it back from Lemire. Tyler thinking about passing. He does. Larkin back down low for DeAugustine. Back to the top of the point for Larkin. Bishop tees up. Wait, Santapass tumbles down in front. So Tyler will end up deferring to Larkin. Holland, last one-time shot high and wide. 1:35 to go. 2-minute minor for slashing. 9:14 to go. Regulation time. Santapass behind the net. Backhand feed for DeAugustine. Far side, right on the lip of the dot. Meanwhile, that blast deflected by Santapass high and wide. Bishop keeps it in. Beacons maintaining the possession in the attacking zone, but that will end it as DeAugustine didn't get enough on that backhand, and it is clear.
Yeah, before that cleared, Beacons did a nice job possessing. Got a few pucks through, but they weren't able to travel all the way to the net. Either got deflected or missed the net entirely.
Albie Daly back on the ice. Albie is able to get through the trees. He gets into the corner, tries to send it back to DeAugustine, and it hits the ref's skate. Bad luck. Meanwhile, Beacons keep it in the zone, and maintaining it there is DeAugustine, but he was unable to settle it down, and ditto for Chukrin as it comes towards the red line. 45 seconds to go. 2-minute minor for slashing. Beacons trying to get the game tire yet again. Chukrin gets the puck poked away from him, but a good aggressive forecheck by Daly is able to keep the puck in the attacking zone before it is sent all the way towards neutral ice for Derek Colucci to send it back in.
And 30 seconds to go here, John. The thing I'm noticing strategically is the Beavers are allowing UMass to play with the puck on the sidewall, but anytime that puck goes towards the blue line or towards the goal line, they attack with pressure.
Here's Colucci. He's down there with Lindsay. Cross-ice feed is off the mark and out of the zone. 13 seconds left, 2-minute minor. Beacons have to get something going here if they want to cash in on the power play. Here's Colucci. He'll take it in himself. Derek has a man on the far side. It's Lindsay. He finds him. Lindsay teed up. Chukrin shot wide. I believe it was kicked away by Murray. Daly can't keep it back behind Murray, and instead it comes out the other way for a chance to move forward. And with possession is Seligman. Seligman loses it, and a good play made by Garrett Gallagher, but unfortunately Gallagher couldn't chase up to the puck on the far side, and Mike Volman, the captain for these visiting Beavers, sends it forward before Seligman gets a bit of Brett Mason, who's already taken one player down, and the Beacons see Drew Gannon bring it over the blue line. Ooh, that one off the boards, almost took a couple of Beavers with it, and with 7 minutes to go, The Beacons need one more to tie. Here's Mason showing some of his skating skills. Sends it all the way in behind the net, careening around the end boards. Gannon pinching in along with McGregor. McGregor with possession finds Gannon. Bad angle shot blocked down and out of the zone. No chance there as Bishop has to clean up at the red line. Gannon will send that one into the rafters, and that will result in a whistle with 6:42 to go.
Well, from a bench perspective, you see Blyle here. He's talking to his players. Do we think about using the timeout or not? I don't think you use it here. They might. It'd be interesting to see. But what I was going to say is from a player's perspective, John, the thing you're thinking about on that bench is looking up at the clock with 6:42 left. You know you're only getting a handful of shifts left. You're not going to get more than 2 or 3, and you're trying to make the most of them. You're going to do what's necessary to put yourself in a position to tie this hockey game.
Carter blasted in on Murray. He had to fist that away with his stick. Meanwhile, the Beacons' power play is over. It's 5-on-5 action. Bishop D-to-D feed. Carter sends it forward for Lemire. This is the top line for Peter Belisle's club. The best offensive scoring line, bar none, in D3 hockey. And right now, they have not gotten it done here in the third period. UMass Boston needs a little bit more. The Augustine got one earlier. They need something from this top line. The Augustine pinching in, can't keep it in the attacking zone, and instead motoring down ice is Brazel. Brazel gets around Carter. Bad angle shot kicked away by Faust, and now it is Larkin. 6 minutes to go, third period of play. Frankie DeAugustine, he's looking for more. He's already got 7 in the second half of the season, looking for 8, but that one sent high and wide.
Just missed. He was going short side high, just missed it. Murray might have been there anyway, but DeAugustine with a nice move to even generate that opportunity.
It was a gorgeous move by Frankie. Meanwhile, the Beacons see Andrew Crawford send it towards Chukrin. DeAugustine has to poke it away. Beacons close to hitting too many men on the ice there on the line change with 5:30 to go. No harm, no foul as Santapass tries to send it in front looking for Chukrin. Instead, it's taken by Garrison on the opposite corner. Santapass tumbles down, and good poke check there to keep it in momentarily and at least avoid an odd-man rush the other way by Colucci. Meanwhile, motoring in and shooting just wide of the net was Municiello. This kid from Weymouth is looking like a bit of a scorer here in his freshman year.
That puck was not far from going in. You saw by the reaction of Faust. He had to look behind him, got just enough of it deflected in the corner.
Less than 5 minutes left, third period of play. A recap on this game, 2 goals from Tommy Municiello. Made it 2-0 Beavers. That in the second period. Beacons got on the board from Bishop as that shot is blocked down in front by Faust from the blast from Mike Volman. That 2-1 lead was made 2-2 on a beautiful goal from Frankie DeAugustine. However, Tim Searles tallied late in the third period to make it 3-2, and that's where we stand now. 4:32 to go here in regulation time. Beavers on top. Volman, D-to-D pass. And an opportunity for Wagner. Wagner trying to dump this one in. It's blocked down by the legs of Demchuk, who's been very active today. And maintaining that puck between his legs for a moment was Demchuk. We are down to the final 4 minutes. Beacons need to get something going soon. Backhanded in by Wagner. And an attempt to poke away from number 16, Michael Phillips, is unsuccessful. Demchuk far side sends it all the way in. Gannon chasing after it, 3:50 to go. McGregor sends it in front, and an opportunity from point-blank range, but unable to get his stick on it was Demchuk.
Beacons D, gotta hold the blue line stronger. I know strategically you're always told retreat first, but at this point, down by a goal late in the third, gotta try to hold that blue line as much as you can.
McGregor, nifty move, able to get it to Lindsay. He's outmanned, but not out-muscled as he fires this one in, kicked away by Murray's left leg. Lindsay trying to get something going along with this yellow line as he's joined by Daly and Finger. Tyler Bishop with 3:15 to go, far side corner, gets possession, trying to find Finger on the near side boards. He does, and Finger shifts this one towards neutral ice. Carter defers to Bishop. We are down to the final 180 seconds of regulation time. Beacons trailing 3-2. Sent all the way in there by Municiello. Carter pinches off his man as Bishop takes the puck. Around the end boards for Finger. Finger can't get possession as it settles down in front. Deflected. Faust doesn't see it. And eventually it is kept out of harm's way by Carter.
That was almost a game right there.
It certainly was as Bishop sends it off the sideboard. Finger knocks it down. Sends it far side for Daly. Daly could have gone back to the point for Chukrin, never saw him. Instead, it's turned over. Gabe instead takes it back himself. What a play by Chukrin. Finds Finger, his shot, and that one's gobbled up by, who else? Jamie Murray. And you just signal it. We'll see if Coach Belisle decides to use his timeout.
I think you got to take it here. 2:24, and the way this game has been playing, there's been a severe lack of whistles. It's been a lot of gaps in between. I would be surprised. It doesn't look like he's going to take it. I'm a little bit surprised here, John. The way this game has been going, the tempo and the flow, there haven't been that many whistles. You might not get another opportunity to use it.
Would have been nice to get a face-off win there, but Chukrin does just enough to prevent an odd-man rush the other way before sliding into the boards. And meanwhile, with just 2:05 to go, the Beacons have to get the puck out of their own zone, as they will likely pull Billy Faust momentarily.
Oh yeah, you have to do it. 2 minutes now, and Babson's doing a really nice job of forechecking there, and kind of an abbreviated 1-2-2, but they're still applying a lot of pressure on the forecheck, trying to get another goal and inevitably end this thing.
McMorrow in front, deflected by Gouveia, but it just trickled wide, and now, with the Beacons getting it out, Billy Faust will head to the bench. If they can, here is Lemire. Faust heads to the bench, extra tackle on as Matt Lemire's howitzer cannon sails high and wide. The Quinnipiac transfer has possession, backhanded towards the point. Gallagher sends it back. It's gloved down by Gouveia. And an opportunity to ice it just wide of the net. That should not be icing. They wave it off. A little bit surprising there as the blast came from Jimmy McGrath. Beacons send it all the way back in. We're down to the final 75 seconds. 3-2 Beavers on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Behind it, Lemire deflected. It's kicked off. It's Moorings again. And Jamie Murray has once again done that.
All game. It's been all game. You know, and there's another opportunity. Lemire in front. Net was knocked off again. Now, I don't know if that actually had a chance of going in. I think Murray would have been there anyway. But regardless, we've seen it all night. And it didn't create a whistle, but obviously goes without saying, you'll use your timeout here. So with 1:06 in the third period, you're down 1. Strategically, face-off wise, John, I'm not sure who you're putting out there. My guess would probably be Daly. He's looked pretty strong tonight. But you really, no matter what you draw up on the bench, it doesn't matter if you lose the draw. And you got to make sure that the players you have on the ice are capable, if they win, obviously, of completing a play, but also if they lose, maintaining that possession, attacking that puck as soon as possible.
Yeah, and UMass Boston right now down to their final 66 seconds, down a goal. Jamie Murray has been strong. And apparently one of his strategies is whenever you get into trouble, kick the net off its moorings.
Well, what can happen is when you move very strong, and Murray does, when you move very strong laterally side to side, in the NHL you don't really see that problem. They use moorings. The puck, the net is actually into the ice. In the collegiate level, it's pegs. They're not in and they're not solidified in. And so when you move laterally like that with so much power, it's pretty easy to knock them off. Now, we have seen a tendency that when UMass has generated a little bit of pressure, that net has a tendency to come off. Now, obviously, again, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything without knowing, but that we have seen a little bit of a pattern here tonight.
I'm not accusing Jamie Murray of anything. The guy's a good enough goalie to get by without kicking the net off the moorings. Heck, you could probably give him a net the size of a soccer goal back there, and he'd be a lot better than most goalies at this level. But it does get frustrating when every time you have an opportunity that net gets kicked off, and it stops play, it stops momentum, and it really stops the Beacons from having an opportunity. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're totally right. So we're going to have Lemire on the draw. It's crucial that they win this.
They do.
The false start. They're going to get called on a false start. Santa Pass came in the zone early. You got Santa Pass, Lemire, DeAugustine, and on the blue line you got Bishop.
Matt Lemire wins it back to Larkin, and his shot is blocked down immediately, and an opportunity for Franklin, near side for Casey, and it's blocked down by Chukrin. Casey's right at the point, deflected. Beacons can keep that out. They got to get possession here, and 1-on-4, and almost doing it all himself with Michael Phillips. Bishop does a good job backing it all the way in. 44 seconds to go. Beacons can try to get something going, but it is sent all the way down. It's not going to hit the net.
Nope.
That will be icing.
Yeah, that'll be an ice. Now it'll be interesting. I want to see Lyle's calling out the play from the bench. Forwards are now discussing. They're talking about it a little bit. It seems like they're going to run something similar. But again, just to let the fans know at home what we have going on, it's Lemire centering between Santa Pass and DeAugustine, and on the blue line, you got Chukrin with Bishop and Larkin at the blue line. So obviously the extra attacker with the goalie pulled.
Lemire on the face-off. He takes on Max Franklin. Mano-a-mano, and the Beacons send this one backhanded by Santa Pass behind the net. Off the end, sideboards, Larkin can't keep it in with 30 seconds to go. Last chance for Romance. 30 seconds left for the Beacons. Tipped in by Chukrin as he's able to get it to Lemire. Matt, cross-ice speed in front, no one home. Here's the Augustine from the point blast, gobbled up by Murray. And the late swap from Larkin with 17 seconds to go is unsuccessful.
Gotta try to jam that home. The Augustine did a good job getting that puck through. Just tried to kind of float one in there, hoping that it would either be deflected or tipped. Unfortunately, got right through to Murray, and here you have it again. Blyle's calling the play from the bench. It's almost, it's the 2-minute drill in the NFL. You don't have time for the huddle. You don't have time to go to the bench. You got to draw it up as you move here. And you see now they've switched it up, so they're going to have Bishop on the wall. They've moved Larkin to the center to try and get him the puck for a shot on goal, but Lemire loses the draw.
It's one into the corner by Babson, which benefits the Beacons. That did too as it clanked off the ref's skate. Lemire trying to get it towards Frankie. Just 5 seconds to go. The Augustine started in front. Chance for Romance. Thunder. Oh, and Bishop lifts on it, and he sends it high and wide. Tyler Bishop had a chance, the one last chance, and he missed on the shot. And the Beacons succumb to the visiting Beavers of Babson College in an absolute manic and exciting affair by the final score of 3-2. Matt Meisenbacher, all I can say is wow.
Yeah, that's a tough way. That's a tough way to lose this hockey game if you're a UMass player, especially if you're Tyler Bishop. I mean, that's the guy you want with the puck on his stick in that situation. Time for one last shot on goal. The guy's been nothing but on fire of late, and you see how disappointed he is. You know, just to have that opportunity in the slot and then not even be able to get a shot, whiff on it completely is, you know, a tough break for UMass. They had their opportunities there late in the period. They did a really nice job after giving up that third goal to try and generate that, to tie that hockey game. And you know, credit to Jamie Murray, played well all night, was fully capable up to the task, and a nice win for Babson. Now 1 point back. Tomorrow is going to be such a critical game, and really, let's call a spade a spade. It's for first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we can take a look at the standings for the New England Hockey Conference in a little bit, but UMass Boston came into this game clinging to that top 5 mark. Unless they beat Babson tomorrow, good luck keeping that positioning. But for UMass Boston, really, I liked what I saw with the valiant effort to come back from a 2-0 deficit. They had a 5-minute penalty kill that they ended up doing a great job on. Demchuk drew a penalty, and they did a phenomenal job getting back in this game. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards. Jamie Murray was game yet again. I'd like to see the shot margins. I think the Beacons were outshot in this game, but still, it was a solid game all around, and I don't think you can really get too down on yourself because you got a game in less than 24 hours.
That quick turnaround, you know how it is in college hockey, especially when you're playing so close to home, Babson being only about 20 miles from the rink. But, you know, overall, unbiasedly, just a great hockey game from a fan perspective. What a pace. I mean, the majority of the game was spent, you know, up and down the ice, players making plays on both ends, Babson, goaltenders making crazy saves, and unfortunately, if you're a UMass fan, didn't come out on top. You finished the game 3-2. Now, the positive side is you technically still are in first place by a point, and essentially you've thrown all your chips on the table for tomorrow to get a win. Obviously, at home, Babson coming in and stealing one at your barn, you're going to have to turn the tide and steal one from them at their place. So tomorrow is going to be a heck of a game, and it'll be very interesting to see what lineup changes, if any, Coach Blyle makes.
Certainly will, and the Beacons will have to pick their heads up and get things going. 4 p.m. tomorrow from Wellesley, Massachusetts, as they take on the Babson College Beavers, part 2 of an epic 2-part doubleheader. We're going to kick to a commercial break. When we come back on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, we'll have final stats, 3 stars, and a look ahead at what's coming up for UMass Boston right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Come on, Jake. As usual, she wins it. A chance in front. Her shot is in the net. Crystal elated. Yet another goal.
Please make a gift to the Beacon Athletic Fund today. We want you on our team.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have an advisor helping you out, telling you which classes to choose.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Skudras. You see there, Babson coming out on top by a 3-2 final. And as we look at the final statistics from this evening's affair, we see the Beacons getting outshot 40-38. It's the fourth consecutive game that Babson has outshot their opponent. Also the fourth consecutive game they finished with 40 or more shots. However, it is their first victory over that time frame as they wrap up this 2016 first 15 days at 1-2-1. The teams finished even in faceoffs, 38-38. Both teams scored on the power play. Beacons 25%, the Babson Beavers 20%, which actually raises their mediocre 15% percentage. I had to get a dig in on them at some point. They won the game. For the Beacons, they got goals from Tyler Bishop and Frankie DeAugustine. It says his first here on the score sheet. I know that's not true. Meanwhile, way to go, Seth. Meanwhile, Tommy Minichiello had 2 goals, his 5th and 6th, and Tim Searles, the game-winning goal, his 5th, and that leads us in to our 3 stars of the game. And number 1, why not? Tim Searles, he had the game-winning goal. Tommy Minichiello had a couple of goals, his 5th and 6th of the year. And we put energy for Alex Demchuk at my request because, let's face it, the guy didn't score, but it's not always about points in hockey. We always litter the 3 stars with GWG, GTG, goals, assists. He didn't get on the scoreboard, but he definitely had a large impact in this game.
The reason, it's very easy to just look at the stat sheet and decide your 3 stars based on that, but what I saw from Demchuk tonight was a guy who was doing the things that don't show up on the score sheet. He made such a crucial play He was on the penalty kill during the Brett Mason 5-minute major where he wasn't able to clear the puck 200 feet like he was supposed to, and instead of getting down and frustrated with himself, regrouped himself, and the very next play regrouped so much so that he was able to skate the puck out on his own, draw a penalty, of which Tyler Bishop was able to make it a 2-1 hockey game at that point. That was one of very many plays that Alex Demchuk made tonight, and quite honestly, we've told you his story about how he's gotten to this point. Just really good to see him continue to do the things that have put him in the lineup, and he solidified himself. Now he's playing special teams. It's just a great story to see. So, again, Searles with the game-winning goal, obviously the first star. Veniciello with 2 goals. He's our 2, and Demchuk as our 3rd with a lot of great plays.
These 3 stars brought to you by Maples Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. We provide comprehensive quality care and a warm, compassionate environment for all. Let's look ahead to what's coming up for the UMass Boston Beacons as they kick off what should be a very exciting stretch of hockey. Of course, the second half of the doubleheader at Babson College tomorrow. Looking ahead today, brought to you by DeAugustine Construction Incorporated, located just outside Pittsburgh. Let us be your only solution for your roof, chimney, and fireplace. Well, Frankie DeAugustine has been a solution for Peter Belisle offensively this season. He had a goal today. He's going to need to put together a similar type of performance tomorrow if the Beacons hope to split this home-and-home doubleheader.
Yeah, the guys who've been producing the most continue to do so tonight, with Bishop and DeAugustine scoring the 2 goals for UMass. And I think, we talked a little bit off the air about what tomorrow represents. And quite honestly, if you're UMass, you gave yourself a cushion coming into the game with a 3-point lead in the conference. Now, as it stands right now, that lead has been diminished to 1 point. But if you can win tomorrow, you essentially break even on the weekend. Now, is that ideal? No, absolutely not. But much better situation rather than going down 4 points to Babson, and just imperative. Coach Belisle is going to preach that we have to bury this one and move on, because if we harp on it, we're going to end up with 2 losses instead of 1.
We're going to kick to a quick commercial break. When we come back in 30 seconds, we will have Coach Peter Belisle to discuss the Beacons' loss and their upcoming game against Babson tomorrow.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in the campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudris here, very proud to be with head coach Peter Belisle of the Beacons. And Coach, tough loss tonight, a back-and-forth affair, a lot of energy out there, big hits, some great goals from your stars. What's the overall environment in the locker room after a game like this where you don't come out on top, but you felt like you could have?
Yeah, no, I just told the guys, we got to be positive. We got a game tomorrow. I thought it was a great college hockey game. I thought we hit a couple posts. We didn't get that done. We got to try to bury our chances tomorrow. So I told, it was a positive message. I know they're down right now, and we wanted that one. And but hey, we're gonna move on. If we can get tomorrow, we're right back in the driver's seat. So that's what we'd like to try to do.
Absolutely. Less than 24 hours, you'll be in Wellesley taking on Babson, taking on likely Jamie Murray again. Talk a little bit about him, because he's a goalie who's like a cat in the crease. He's very difficult to beat. Were you getting frustrated at all with the constant times that the net was getting knocked off those moorings, and the constant times during momentum-building opportunities for you guys that things were nullified by whistles?
Yeah, I think next year that'll be rectified. They got to do with the mosh pegs. It'll be mandatory across the NCAA. So I think that for that reason, it'll be good. But right now, we just gotta, we gotta deal with it. It is what it is.
Now, do you anticipate going again with Billy Faust tomorrow, or are you going to switch things up with Zach Andrews?
Yeah, not sure yet. I want to watch the tape and kind of sleep on it. And but I thought Billy played well. I thought Billy really played well. So he kept us in that game at times when they had some flurries. So I was proud of the way Bill played.
Absolutely. One player playing out of his mind is Frankie DeAugustine. He had a goal today in the third period, now has 7 goals in 4 games since the break, or 5 games now after this one. Talk a little bit about Frankie and that top line, how they've developed together over the course of the season.
Yeah, no, they're really clicking. I mean, they had a couple nice plays off the rush, and I think it went from Frankie to Larkin, back to Lemaire. Their passing is just, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
Absolutely. Last one for you before we let you go and regroup for tomorrow. Big hit here in the sideboards by Brett Mason on one of the Beavers. Ended up being a 5-minute major penalty. Did you think that deserved to be a 5-minute major?
The guys were saying, no, it was a good hit, it was a good hit. I'd have to see that on tape. It happened so fast. I don't know what the refs saw, but, our team certainly didn't agree with it, but I'll wait to see the tape on that one.
He ended up killing off the major penalty, gave you a lot of momentum towards getting back in the game. Coach, best of luck tomorrow. We're pulling for you for a victory over the Babson Beavers.
Thank you.
That's Coach Peter Belisle. I am John Skudras here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we'll wrap things up and get you set for that second half of the home and home doubleheader tomorrow afternoon from Wellesley, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Well, as we wrap things up here from Clark Athletic Center Ice Arena, it's always nice to look back at the game that was, a game that saw the Beacons fall behind 2-0 before battling back and evening things up in the third period before succumbing to a very game Babson College Beavers team. I want to thank the production team involved, producer Seth Orensky, directors Carl Poss and Alex Carasuto. On Instant Replay, Anthony Searles, and also Steve Witkowski, who was doing a fantastic job in the rinkside interviews between periods. And as always, we couldn't have this production without our camera operators, Steve Eagle Eyes Consiglio, Josh Ruffin, Matt Coakley, and Sam Gitchler. For Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Skudras. We thank you for listening to this broadcast of the Beacons Broadcasting Network right here on a beautiful Friday night in Boston. Until next time, good night, good luck, and good hockey. We'll see ya right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.